5th anniversary.
Oh, excuse me.
We passed 250 with Joe Coleman.
That's
Terminator.
right. God damn it. I can't
Technically,
keep
it's
anything
not
straight.
even our 5th, because I think we started in April of 2018.
Yeah.
But we were balls deep in Sex Thriller Month, and we can't come up for air.
Unlike all the characters in Sex Thriller Month. No one got balls deep anywhere.
Yeah. So, we had to postpone it a little. And here we are.
Here we are, 5th anniversary, big episode.
Did you think we'd ever make it, Griff? 5 years.
No fucking chance.
Does any podcast make it 5 years? Most people just give up in futility, but not us.
That's right.
We're wearing you guys down. We're like that nice guy that's wearing down the hot chick.
Geez.
We're gonna get you eventually.
We're
getting in your panties, people.
We're a couple of Max Rocketanskis. We don't look back. We just keep plowing forward.
Right.
Except all of our beautiful references we make constantly, and which is why you need to go through our treasure trove of back issues. There's so many of them at this point. We're
over 250.
Yeah, over. Because we're up to tippy tap 50-something.
I mean, our super fan, Abra, hasn't even listened to all our episodes. She was like, hey, you need to do Hercules. We did Hercules.
In the first few
years
months?
ago.
Yeah,
it was like the first year. Yeah.
Okay.
Back when we actually did canon movies. Remember those days?
I remember Canon. Yeah, I've heard of that company before.
Yeah.
I was actually, I had an interview for a job the other day, and for some reason, I've never been asked this on an interview. What do you like to do for fun? I'm not about to say, I podcast the greatest podcast around, because that just...
Wow, it's a little prying, I think. Are they like gonna, they gonna search your internet background? Or
So that's why I don't like to volunteer this kind of information. It's too much. So I just said, I'm a big action fan. I really love my action movies. Old action, cheesy action, like Canon era.
Like, say, .com for murder?
.com. Oh, boy, Murray, we'll have to save that conversation.
Save that for later.
Mike, thank you for putting that on your Plex. It was for 35 minutes.
It was perplexing.
It was, for 35 minutes, it was exactly what I wanted. And then it turned into a very, very boring, dumb movie. But thank you for putting it up there.
Well, this movie we're doing today is exactly what I wanted.
Murray, there's so much controversy. Back in 2015, a movie came out, and you're allowed to say opinions are everybody's own right.
They're like assholes.
Exactly. You can say whatever you want. I'm going to be fine with it. Obviously, me and you fall in the same camp. But, guys, it's just their opinions. So take it and run. But this is a pro Road Warrior #1, and it's our opinion. That's just our opinion, right, Murray?
No, this is documented fact, Griff.
Excuse me?
It's objectively true that Road Warrior is, if it's not even the greatest movie of all time, it's definitely the greatest Mad Max movie of all time. And I will brook no dissension. Fuck you. If you bring up... Sorry, I know our only person I know is crazy enough to even say that Fury Road's better. A good friend of ours over in England, Stuart Bannerman.
Yeah?
I let it pass. It infuriates me. It infuriates me.
Yeah?
But it's wrong. It's as much like, you remember our buddy Pigeon? We got a friend, Pigeon. He's been on. He's on our Iron Eagle episode.
Everybody knows Pigeon.
He's a super U2 fan.
Yes.
And he goes ballistic when anyone ever criticizes U2. And by the way, a band that deserves to be criticized, by the way. But that's his irrational hatred. I don't think it's irrational. I think it's totally rational fury I get when people say Fury Road is the best Mad Max movie. It's not. It's just, and we're going to tell you for the next 5 hours, as we do break this movie down, why the Road Warrior is better.
So we're going to be coming through with some factual information here. For instance, think about what Fury Road has done for the modern world. It's gotten people tattoos. People get the fucking tattoos. They say "Witness Me."
Oh,
the steering wheel.
Why do
and
you
Morton
want to be
Joe's
those guys? Those are they're like the stormtroopers of Fury Road. Why would you? But then again, people love to be stormtroopers too. Like
they do love to be stormtroopers.
I want to be the star. I don't want to be the background guy.
Right, but Max doesn't have a cool logo. That's simple to get tattooed.
It's true. It's true.
So that's the impression that Fury Road, aside from winning a bunch of awards that it deserves.
Yeah.
Best.
We're not saying Fury Road is a shitty movie.
Yeah.
It's the third best Mad Max movie ever made.
Right.
But it's not Road Warrior.
That's right. It's so far and beyond. And this is not supposed to be a Fury Road hate episode.
No, not at all.
It's just when people say Fury Road is the best Road Warrior, that's where we had to step in and tell you guys
I say you
it's
must
not.
have never seen another Mad Max movie. Or you must have just seen Beyond Thunderdome.
So we have now given you the influences, tattoos, of Fury Road. And people saying that Mad Max, of course, is always the passenger. Wrong.
Yeah, totally wrong.
Very wrong.
Because they have to rationalize it, because we all know Mad Max got short shrift in Fury Road. He got robbed. We had one of the few guys that I would accept replacing Mel Gibson and Tom Hardy. We love Tom Hardy on the show.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And I was
Hardy.
cool with that. Because personally, I think they should have ended it with Mel Gibson. Have him do the Mad Max dies in Fury Road. It's his final story. Mel Gibson caps it off. We're all happy. We made up for fucking Thunderdome.
Yes.
I understand they couldn't do that because of political reasons. But
yeah, they
I'm
even
sorry.
tried to cast Mel back in like '98, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, they were
They
going to use him.
Yeah,
and I think it would be great. It's having a gnarly old Max. Like he's been out for like 25 years in the wasteland.
Right, that would have been.
Because Mel Gibson looks like shit now. He's like just all gnarly looking.
Yeah,
he would have been perfect.
It would have been perfect.
But I was cool with fucking Hardy.
Oh, I love.
And then I'm like,
casting.
When's he gonna do something? He doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And people who, like you said, the people who come out, trot out the whole, well, that's always been Max. He's always been like, the background character. When, motherfucker? First of all, Mad Max was his origin story, first of all. Road Warrior, he's front and center. I just watched it.
Yeah.
He's front and fucking center.
Yeah.
He's the star. And same for fucking Thunderdome. Who's the star of Papagallo, the gyro captain? Is that the main character of Road Warrior? No, it's fucking Max.
Right. It took me so long to see it. My journey from being just like a roundabout Road Warrior Mad Max fan, it took me a long time to get to this point, and it took plenty of watching and finally watching and doing notes and everything to realize it's Road Warrior, Mad Max, then Fury Road.
Yeah.
Great movie. 2010s was kind of sus for, action. You had Dread, you had this. So, yeah, it's definitely top 3 for action movies in the 2010s. But
it's not top 3 in the 80s.
Right. In the 80s had the I can't think of it. President Monument carved in the mountains.
Mount Rushmore?
The Mount Rushmore of action movies is in the 80s. We all know this.
Yeah.
Road Warrior's right there.
Yeah.
Max Rakatansky, and Dog's on there too.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't Dog be on there?
Dog, the greatest dog in cinema history.
That, like, all of the Mad Max movies, Road Warrior and I guess,
here's the thing. We were saying how he's the star. Only 4 other people have names in fucking Road Warrior. So how the fuck is he not the star?
Yes.
He doesn't even name his fucking dog.
Just Dog. So good.
It inspired Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Good. Speaking, perfect segue, Murray. We talked about the influences. Yeah. We had the acclaimed action movie for the 2010s, tattoos, T-shirt sales, and Morton Joe's so cool.
People huffing spray paint.
Yeah. Big time on that.
Their resurgence in that.
Oh, big time.
Poppers went out, spray paint in.
And Morton Joe also rates, for me, very low on the Mad Max World villains.
Yeah, he's just an old man.
He was cool looking, and that's about it.
It's Fury Road in a nutshell. Very cool looking. I'll give it to you. The aesthetics of Fury Road are great. Amazing. I love it. Yeah. And when you hear the backstory, like they had a whole team of people creating cars and tools.
Yes.
And George Miller's like, I want you to create a backstory for every fucking piece that's in this movie.
Yes.
I love that. That's fucking great.
100%. The behind the scenes plays into more of the mythos than the actual movie, though.
Right. Well, because we talk about how I'm sorry, I'm getting off track with inspirations, but we talk about how. We talked about this on Conan the Barbarian, that Conan the Barbarian had the just right amount of fantasy elements, magic.
Yes. So
it still stayed grounded, even though, yes, you had James Earl Jones turning into a snake.
Yeah.
You had that fucking wizard guy, but it was just the right amount.
Right.
So it still felt real, even though it's a fantasy movie. And I think much the same with Road Warrior. Yes, you have outlandish characters. You have the Lord Humongous. You have the fucking feral child with a fucking boomerang.
Right.
But it still feels grounded. Conversely, to me, Fury Road is pure fantasy. It's like there's abundance. We're living in a post-apocalyptic world, a world that's like 20 years after Road Warrior. Yet we have more shit now.
Right. Just how quickly they built everything into that mountain. It's not hundreds and thousands of years or something. You know, it's like 20 years later.
You're right. It's this fucking mountain fortress.
It's just it's a little much. That takes it away. But we gotta. Oh man, I don't want to shit on Fury Road. We'll have to do Fury Road eventually, but still, and then we'll discuss it further. Sorry, everybody who's a Fury Road fan, but we got to. Today we're proving Road Warrior is the best. Let's talk influence of Road Warrior because they're everywhere today.
Yeah,
everywhere. So if we want to look back to the 80s, 81, it comes out. When does Friday the 13th come out?
I think part 3, where we get the hockey mask, was in 83 or so.
Boom. Lord Humongous right there.
I don't know why no one points it out.
Yeah.
It fucking infuriates me because like Jason is obviously a ripoff of the Lord Humongous.
Right.
Big guy with a fucking hockey mask.
Yeah.
And everyone acts like I don't even know why anyone would say Jason's their favorite character because there's nothing original about that character.
Just the chi ho ho ho.
He started out as fucking a Michael Myers clone because that's, I mean, Friday the 13th was just to cash in on Halloween. That's why it has like a holiday. Well, I know Friday the 13th isn't a holiday, but you know what I mean, like
give it an
day. Ominous kind of day.
Right, and 13 is the evil number.
Right. And he has like I don't know. Jason wears coveralls, doesn't he? Like
I believe
Michael
he
Myers?
used like a groundskeeper coverall.
And then the second one, he was a ripoff of the Elephant Man because he had the fucking mask with the eye hole cut out,
which is cool.
Which is cooler. I actually prefer Jason that way.
I like that. Based on Kayla's startle scale is what I try to say.
Oh, is that gonna...
The bag was creepier too.
Yeah. I agree.
Because she saw those for the first time.
And he was like a hillbilly. He had the coveralls and all that shit. And hillbillies are always scary.
Hillbillies are always scary.
We know. We live in America.
That's
we know
right.
all about that. Yeah, so they got that. It created a genre unto itself. There's so many. Like, Italy was like, the Italian cinema was being run on Mad Max ripoffs for about 3 or 4 years.
I can't even remember at this point. We've done so many movies at this juncture. We've done so many, and you love diving into these ripoffs. So it's like off the top of the head, we could think of New Barbarians, and then we thought of Warriors of the Wasteland. More recent one that we did, based on an anime during that era, Fist of the North Star, which has total Mad Max vibes.
Is it Kenshiro?
Kenshiro.
He's Max.
Yeah.
I mean, he even has the bandages on his fucking
He's got
wrists,
the bandages. He's got the sleeveless leather with the fucking shoulder pad on it.
Yeah, and I don't think they're like trying to hide that.
No,
I mean they this influence.
Exactly. There's no problem with that.
It was highly. It was one of. I'm being serious here. It's one of the most influential movies of all time.
No shit. It's completely influential.
I mean, when you think of post-apocalyptic, the image in your head is fucking shoulder pads, leather,
right. Makes no sense. Black leather in the desert, but that's what really pushed this iconic, movie on. And then you get into the wrestling world in the 80s, the coolest fucking dudes. You would meet these guys in the bar, and they would have to beat the shit out of you to keep kayfabe. And you had Road Warriors. You had Barbarian. Vince, I think, had his own Road Warrior.
Powers of Pain.
Yeah, until he got Road Warriors themselves. Yeah. So...
There was a wrestler called the Lord Humongous.
Yeah.
It was Sid Vicious.
Everywhere in fucking wrestling. Everywhere. Everybody looks at that as one of the most badass fucking movies of all time. Everything. You could even look at video games. We have Wasteland, which eventually gave us Fallout. Fallout also started out being a clone of Road Warrior. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Road Warrior's everywhere. It influenced everything and not just fucking tattoos.
Just think, this fucking low budget... Even though it had probably at the time the biggest budget of any Australian movie, which was only like $2 or $3 million. The influence, like this movie from Australia by this guy. This is kudos to fucking George Miller. This is his second fucking movie, and it's like iconic.
Yeah. it's just the crunch of everything. It just makes you have to squeeze every little detail you can into whatever you can afford. So it's like the Interceptor's so much cooler in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like is that this world feels lived in, which I didn't get from Fury Road. You feel the desperation people are living under. You don't get that. You don't get that. I'm not getting a single Fury Road out for this. All modern like post-apocalyptic movies are like that. Everyone has like most together stylish clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where they're fucking finding this shit. People are well fed. Everyone's got a nice cool haircut. They're clean shaven.
Yeah.
No, this movie you feel how desperate everybody's just scraping by. Nobody has the bad guys don't have guns. I mean, that's what irritated me about Fury Road is, oh no, we have a town that just makes bullets.
Yeah.
And we have another town that just makes gas. So
we're kind of set. We just barter amongst ourselves and we trade off. And there was like the one scavenger crew or maybe two different scavengers, between towns, and that was kind of it. But no, the guns just. I mean, really fucking like in The Walking
Dead, they're 10 years into this thing, and they're still scavenging for canned goods. There's gonna be no fucking canned goods 10 years, even if they're good to begin with to eat. In 10 years, I mean, we at the pandemic, 2 weeks, fucking grocery store aisles were like empty.
Yeah,
2 weeks, and like 10 years, yeah, okay,
yeah. My favorite moment, because I just watched Fury Road to kind of remember, so I could speak a little bit more intelligently about it when I referenced it. The best Max moment is him walking into the fog. You see a giant explosion, comes back covered in blood with a sack of shit and a boot for Nux. And someone's like, "Are you okay? You're bleeding." And Furiosa was like, "That's not his blood." That's the best Max moment. He's not even in it.
Yeah.
It's just the myth of Max.
Right.
It's but yeah. Road Warrior, number 1, the Ayatollah of movie rollers. It's right here. Everything is in Road Warrior. You know what? My journey of Road Warrior started bad. When I saw it, the aesthetic of it, the townsfolk with their 80s crimped hair.
Yeah.
It made me choke thinking of it. I really didn't like the town when we first get there.
I hate those people. I want another thing I like about this movie. I think the only really pure good person in this movie is the feral kid. Like everyone, I mean, I think the good guys are just as kind of scummy as the bad guys.
Yeah,
I mean, they both have points.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that they have the balls to do that.
Right.
Because most movies, no, these are the clear-cut good guys. These are the clear-cut bad guys. No, I mean, Humongous has a couple good points about these people, and vice versa.
Yes,
Why do they get to fucking have the guess? Because they were there first?
Right. The first 2 Mad Max movies are fucking amazing at this storytelling, where it's like you can put yourself. Somebody wrote this about Toe Cutter, and they're like, you could do a whole movie about Toe Cutter in the guise of like that 2-day span of Mad Max, and you would just see a battle between Toe Cutter and keeping his gang together and everything. And obviously, Toe Cutter's a bad guy, and he's menacing society and everything. But it would still be a really interesting counterculture kind of movie. This one, you're being pushed that Lord Humongous is clearly a bad guy, but you're right. It's like...
Well, you're allowed to use your imagination. We're not getting spoon-fed. We don't know what Humongous's backstory is, and all the better for it. We all have our own story about why does he have this Nazi like gun case?
Right.
What's that? I don't know, and he doesn't explain it. He lets me do it.
Every small detail has a story. I mean, again, Furiosa, beautiful everything, but there's so much. You don't get that he's opening a gun case and there's a wildy and he's like one bullet. He's got like 3 bullets.
Right, because they're precious.
Yes,
like, I have to think about what I'm going to shoot with these bullets.
Right.
Meanwhile, you have the fucking, I don't remember what the guy's name was, the Gun King or whatever. He's just blowing off fucking bullets everywhere.
Right. Exactly. It just. For us, our scale is scarcity. Everything, every
end of the
shot
world
you take is important. Yeah. So again, the Furiosa, great movie. Just doesn't seem
great fantasy movie.
It just doesn't seem to really belong in the Mad Max world.
Yeah, it's it's Mad Max taken too far. Okay. My point of view.
I think we've whiplashed people enough with Fury Road not being the better movie.
Well, you better know it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it. So you said the first time you saw it, the crimp tear took you out of it.
Yeah, it was the village and everything. Yeah. It was that aesthetic. It just kind of pulled me away.
Yeah.
Like Max, obviously, you're like, I'd follow that guy to the fucking brink of death. But
just like the gyro cap.
Yeah. But it's like the townsfolk and everything. You're like, oh, this is kind of weird.
I hate these people.
Right.
They're horrible. I saw this movie for the first. I did not see this in the theater. I saw it on like HBO, so I guess a year after it came out. And
it wasn't oddly dubbed?
It was not. For some reason. Well, I mean, Max has 16 lines in the entire movie.
It's perfect.
So, right. It's
just like Schwarzenegger.
Exactly.
Less lines about yeah.
And it's been my favorite movie for over 40 years now because like people my age, Luke Skywalker was supposed to be your guy. Yeah. I never related to the what we call the white meat baby face.
Oh God.
Max, when I'm 8 years old, I saw Max. I go, that's me. I relate to this guy so much because Max at heart is a good person, but at the same time he wants nothing to do with people. You're draining me. All you want is shit. All everyone wants from Max in this movie is him to do shit for them.
Right.
And so
obviously we'll get into those details as we go through this movie.
Yeah. So it's like, yes, that's my guy. And he's been my guy. Man, Max is still my favorite movie character of all time. It's over the past 40 years. And maybe that shows I haven't grown at all as a human being, but I don't care. Yeah. Because that's what it is.
It'd be fun to do an episode where we just kind of figure out characters throughout each year that we really liked, but that's a whole tippy tap, maybe. Probably not. That'd be a good one with Stuart, actually. He would probably really enjoy that.
Yeah. My two favorite are Max and Snake Plissken. But I like Max more because I think there's more human. Like Snake Plissken is totally cold-blooded.
Yeah.
I would like to think I'm at heart a good person like Max is, so I always gravitated more toward Max.
Yeah. Max is fucking amazing. Just Road Warrior is just so fucking good. Right. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, and I just want to say we are a comedy show, but I'm just gonna. This episode might not be that funny. I just want to let you know because I just love this movie so much. Like this is the one. Like I get sick of everything except this movie. When the movie's on, this is the one movie I can watch every single. It just never slows down. It's 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
You get a fucking full story. All these colorful characters.
The action is incredible in this movie.
There's stuff left here. Hey, all you Bullet fans, fuck you. Road Warrior is the greatest chase scene of all time.
Yeah.
And we don't even like fucking chase scenes.
No, that's the... That
just shows you this dichotomy of me in that this is my favorite movie, and I don't like fucking car chase movies.
Hate cars, hate car chases. We know this from 280 episodes of talking about hating. But holy shit, this movie gets it so right.
Yeah, right. I mean, George Miller might be the greatest director of action of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets... And this is, like you said, it's his second fucking movie.
Second movie.
He's like a genius.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Trailers are also incredible, Murray.
All right, so let's head out to the highway with a little thing called Mad Max 2 for all you outside America people. We call it here in America the Road Warrior.
I remember ruined dreams, chaos, but most of all, the Road Warrior.
Greetings from the warrior of the wasteland!
The gasoline will be ours. Just walk away.
There it is. Thousands of gallons, as much as you want. If anyone's gonna get in there, it's gonna be you.
Okay, so who's gonna drive the tanker?
You want to get out of here? You talk to me.
Nobody gets out of here alive!
but you can't hide!
My life fades. The vision dims. All that remains are memories. I remember a time of chaos, ruined dreams, this wasted land. But most of all, I remember the road warrior, the man we called Max. To understand who he was, you have to go back to another time, when the world was powered by the black fuel, and the desert sprouted great cities of pipe and steel. Gone now, swept away. For reasons long forgotten, two mighty warrior tribes went to war, and touched off a blaze which engulfed them all. Without fuel, they were nothing. They'd built a house of straw. The thundering machine sputtered and stopped. Their leaders talked and talked and talked. But nothing could stem the avalanche. Their world crumbled. The cities exploded. A whirlwind of looting. A firestorm of fear. Men began to feed on men. On the roads it was a white-line nightmare. Only those mobile enough to scavenge, brutal enough to pillage, would survive. The gangs took over the highways, ready to wage war for a tank of juice. And in this maelstrom of decay, ordinary men were battered and smashed. Men like Max, the warrior Max. In the roar of an engine, he lost everything. And became a shell of a man. A burnt-out, desolate man. A man haunted by the demons of his past. A man who wandered out into the wasteland. And it was here, in this blighted place, that he learned to live again.
All right, that is our voiceover, and you're thinking, is that Mel talking to me right now? Was that him doing the voiceover? Because we know Max is a man of few words in this movie.
But he told you all you needed to know if you didn't see Mad Max first, which I didn't. I saw, which I illustrated in our Mad Max episode for a couple months ago, which you need to go back to listen to.
Ooh, yeah, you do.
So yeah, that's all I needed. I didn't need to see Mad Max. I didn't know Mad Max existed at that time.
Yeah,
it was because, like I said before the trailer, here in America, it was called Road Warrior. It was not called Mad Max 2.
You didn't know there was a... Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they explain the world to us. Apparently, they don't say overtly that there was a nuclear war, but there was a nuclear war.
Right.
Maybe it was like more a surgical strike thing. Like there was, like it wasn't total nuclear winter, but like certain cities. Because in Thunderdome, Sydney's devastated, so that got hit by a fucking.
Oh,
nuke.
Okay.
So I mean, there's only like a handful of cities that really are, populated in Australia. It's on the coast, like all the interior, and then where we're at is in the interior. So people probably moved in because all the cities were destroyed.
Right, and full of radiation.
Right.
Horrible, mind-bending chemicals.
Because I talked about this guy on the Mad Max episode. He has a YouTube page called the Mad Max Bible. He did shit ton more research than we're gonna fucking do. But at the time, of course, the oil crisis was going on right before these movies were filmed. And I guess there was heat between Iran and Saudi Arabia. So there's an illusion. They said two giants went to war. Like, we averted it in real life. Like, they didn't go to war, but the idea is that they did go to war and the oil was destroyed.
Oh, that would make some sense.
And we realized that, we're so dependent on oil, which we've been trying for the past 40 years to get off, but the oil companies won't let us get
we've
off.
Been quote unquote, we've been trying.
So yeah, I mean, we're still at that precipice. It could happen still.
Right. I mean, it's a
So
story
just
you can.
a handful of men can be billionaires.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story you can reflect on today. Gods, if you will. Zeus, if you will.
Zeus.
I gotta let you hear the Zeus I piped in for that. You might really enjoy it. So we got.
So now we know everything.
Yeah, we know everything.
We need to know to enjoy this movie. We know the backstory of our main character, who's totally the main character.
Yes.
Max.
Literally in the driver's seat as we speak.
Right. And he's in the Interceptor, and I like it. Interceptor looks like shit. It looked like a badass car. Because why? Because he's been living for 5 years. I think it takes like 5 years after Mad Max.
Okay.
And like that's how it would look. It would be rusted out. It would look like shit because he doesn't give a fuck about waxing his fucking car in the goddamn apocalypse.
Why
He's just
would
like,
you?
I use this from play A to B.
He
fetishized it in the first movie, and you see how far gone he is now.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of this movie.
It's modded out to survival now.
Right.
It's not about aesthetics. It's about surviving.
Mad Max is about the breaking of Max. This movie's all about a broken man surviving.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's where's he going? Who the fuck knows? It's a Jack Kerouac poem in motion here.
He doesn't... Yeah, he's just existing. That's all he's doing.
Right.
He doesn't even know why he's going on. Like, why is he?
Yeah.
So we see he's being chased by our villains, led by Wes, the main henchman, played by Vernon Wells. I actually met Vernon Wells.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Strange guy.
Very strange.
Yeah, I've met two people from Road Warrior, both at comic book conventions. Vernon Wells and Virginia Hay, who plays the Warrior Woman.
Okay.
And she was very nice. I had, there's very little. I guess I got to give props to George Miller. He does not whore out the Road Warrior. He does not, as far as I know, he doesn't own the rights to Mad Max.
Okay.
But he got the rights back to Thunderdome and Road Warrior by agreeing to not do the movie Contact with Jodie Foster. Like, he was going to direct it. And
interesting.
I've heard conflicting stories. Either that or he did Happy Feet and they gave him back.
Yeah, okay.
And so he isn't. The way it kind of fucking bums me out because I want a super deluxe DVD of the Road. It's the most bare bones fucking DVD. It's just we get commentary, audio commentary, and that's it,
dude.
This is the one movie I want to fucking dive deep into.
I know, Joe. Like, there's so few movies that I care so much about all the details. Like, I love Lynch's movies, but you hear a commentary by Lynch, and this is why I shot this because I liked it. Fuck you. Like, that's Lynch, and I love him for it.
Turned into Dennis Miller. Fuck you, babe.
Come on, I got no voices.
You got a great Anton Mason.
Thank you. Ah! Oh, I woke Billy up. Just go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. All right, Max driving the Interceptor hard. We actually get to see the fucking Interceptor in this movie. We got fucking 1 minute of the Interceptor in Fury Road.
Yeah, the one thing I will say... The Interceptor takes a back seat in these fucking movies. Like you were saying Mad Max does? No, but the Interceptor does. They give you fucking Interceptor blue balls. First of all, because the car in real life's not that good a car. The Ford Falcon.
Yeah.
They said it would actually start shaking once it would go above like 60. But it looked cool.
Yeah.
So they used it. And the thing, the blower on the top, that's purely cosmetic. That does nothing in real life.
One of my favorite parts from watching Fury Road was when they were literally blowing gas into the receiver, whatever
the blower.
The blower, and it's supercharging. Like, again, fantasy, but it's fucking cool. Like we're in on the fantasy.
Right.
So okay.
So he's being chased by Wes. I get back to Vernon Wells. So. There's very little merch. So in the 90s, they made action figures. Of course, I had to buy the whole set.
I don't know if I've ever noticed them.
They're not very good, but it was like, I got to take what I can
They
get.
look like they're melted. And
yeah. And so they made one. I got her, Virginia Hay, to sign my action figure. And she did beautiful. Like, it was like a love letter almost. Like, it's my dearest Tim. Like, she really went to work on it, covered the entire thing. And then, Vernon Wells wasn't a dick to me, but it was like, he is an intimidating guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, I had my Wes figure. I was like, hey, can you sign this? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he sits down, and then he just stares at me. And I'm feeling really uncomfortable. I'm like, and he's like, well, who do you want me to make it out to? And then I'm like, oh, because he's assumed I was going to know that. I thought he was just going to sign it. So then he said it's him. Then he signed it. And I think he wrote, like, you can run, but you can't hide. His, like, line from this thing.
Oh, okay.
And then he was cool after that. It wasn't no big deal. It was just a very awkward moment.
I have very bad hearing, and Wes talk, we fuck you up. Like, it's kind of hard to, yeah. So.
And so Wes is...
influenced the South Park guys, too.
It influences everybody.
They worked Mungus.
Wes makes an appearance in the Weird Science, the movie. That's Wes. He comes in as Wes.
What?
Yeah, him and Michael Berryman, who we talked about a few days ago.
Yeah, a few days ago.
Are both in Weird Science.
No shit.
And so they're chased because they see all that fucking juice in the fucking canisters in the back of the fucking Interceptor. They want it.
And again, when I was reading, I'm sorry to do this again. This is why I watched Fury Road. I was reading on it. George Miller wanted to do a chase movie where it was about people instead of like gas or ammo or whatever. Okay. So here we go. They're chasing for gas because what did we just say?
Well, that explains why there's so much gas and ammo in Fury Road.
Because they're all about the bitches now.
Right.
Yeah. There's 5 hot bitches.
The most precious commodity.
There's 5 hot bitches left in the world, and Morton Joe is hoarding them all to himself.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways.
Much like Epstein.
So
Max is being chased. He's just nonchalantly weaving through all these like cars that are on the road.
Yeah.
And he runs one of the cars off. And it's a very diverse group of people that Humongous is a coalition of sickos he has.
Yeah.
We get the guys that have like the fucking half masks and the shades. Those are dirty cops.
Yeah.
So those are all cops. And then you got the fucking basically Mohawk guys with Wes, and then you got the gay boy berserkers who we get mentioned.
I didn't even realize it, but there is like some kind of continuity between.
Yeah, he's pulling together all these different gangs.
Right.
He's like the Cyrus from the Warriors of this world.
Yeah.
He's trying to create a coalition of sickos to do his thing.
We'll get into Among Us obviously later and how he gets these people together, but we're being chased here. Max realizes he's got 2 people on either side of him.
Call back to the Knight Rider scene from Mad Max.
Yes, it is. Oh, that's so good.
Right. We got and like I said, the fucking desperation. Like nobody has guns, not even the bad guys. And I love that. Like Wes has a fucking little ass fucking crossbow on his wrist.
Yeah.
And they either have like crossbows or they have bow and arrows or they have like little dart gun things.
And
like
think about it. The one guy shoots out a tire with a dart and then reaches to get it back. That's the level of disparity we're at here. They need that ammo so bad. He reaches to a live fucking tire spinning at 60 miles an hour to try to grab his ammo. Right. I love it. I want it.
So and we get more of that later in the scene because Max is surrounded. He's got the dirty cop on one side. He's got Wes on his motorcycle with his bitch, the Golden Youth, following.
Golden Youth?
That's his character's name.
Nice.
Golden Youth. And which according to Vernon Wells had his own backstory. He's like, no, they're not a gay couple. This was this young boy that he found, and he spared his life, and it was like a son to him, and like. Vernon, just embrace it. You're a gay icon, dude.
He could be out there, Pope of Gay Town today.
Right.
His 2 most iconic characters, Wes and Bennett from Commando.
Right.
Gay icons. Strong, masculine men that are just gay out here surviving. Right. Beautiful fucking story. We were bold enough to have gay people be villains back then, and we respect them.
Right. I mean, he is a psychotic villain, but he loves the Golden Youth.
That's right.
All right.
Also, Easter egg for everybody, if you care to go back and watch Cruising, because we know you watch every movie we do. Yes, in the cop night, you can see Wes in the background. Yes. And
What bandana color does he have?
Oh, boy.
Well, he has the red mohawks. I'm assuming he's...
it's red. For a minute, I thought he was the fister.
Right.
Not the fisty, of course, but the fister.
Yeah. He probably goes back and forth.
He might.
So he's getting ready to shoot our boy Max, and just like the Knight Rider did to the cops, Max just slams on the brakes.
God, what? I didn't even realize that. What a fucking cool callback. So, Max, he continues down the road, and there's like a turnover semi-truck. Or no, it wasn't turnover. It was just parked.
Yeah.
And so he gets down there, and
he runs the dirty cop off the road.
Oh,
There's like a dune buggy, Wes, and the cop, and he makes the dune buggy and the cop collide.
So they're out of the game.
Right. And Wes has been shot by the arrow that the cop shot at Max after he pulled the brake. He's
at the top of a hill, and he just stops there and watches as Max goes down to the semi-truck down below.
Right, because as they were driving, Max noticed his fucking fuel gauge is near empty. He turns off the fucking blower.
Yep.
So he can't, like, really hit it.
Yeah.
And he's just so, like...
He gets down there, and he immediately starts opening the valves and putting helmets and, like, all kinds of anything he can to catch
he gets
scarcity.
He gets a rag and starts soaking up the gas and squeezing it into a fucking dinner plate.
Amazing.
Right?
Yes, a dinner plate. That's right. Yeah. Flatter than gas on a plate.
Thing. He's so desperate for gas. Wes is still up there. And he's just like, I have to get this fucking gas from this car that I just caused to, like, crash.
Right.
Because he's like, I'll risk my fucking life for gas. Meanwhile, Wes
Speaking of gas, we're both so gassy today.
Wes is watching, and as he's soaking up here, and he looks back, and Wes is just standing there with that fucking arrow in his fucking bicep, and he just rips it out. Has an orgasm almost.
Yeah. Vernon Wells can have an orgasm while he's intimidating
and
someone.
What does he do, Griff? He saves the arrow that was shot in his arm, puts it in his little holster on his thigh.
The details. When you're doing a movie like this, so, like, the pacing is so fucking good.
And then he just fucking takes off. He's just like, but he remembers Max. And he just fucking takes off.
So Max is going about the truck. He's trying to scavenge anything he can off it.
He's hitting his hand against the tank to see if there's any gas inside those tanks.
Yeah.
You get the fucking thing that says, the vermin have inherited the earth, spray painted on the fucking truck.
Beautiful. You get a little jump scare. A hand unfurls itself at him.
Yeah, from the crash that he caused. So
yeah. And then he opens up the passenger side door and a body falls out.
Right, a little scare, and then he notices something falls out of I think the body was like holding something.
Yeah.
And it's a little music box, and he plays it, and it's Happy Birthday, which costs a lot of money to get the licensing rights.
The Smith sisters?
Half of the fucking budget of this movie went to getting Happy Birthday.
Can you imagine how much money it would have made if he didn't spend it on that?
Half as much.
Half as much. So Max gets what he needs.
Puts it, takes it. Yeah, hey, I might need this, you know?
Oh, yeah, of course. You collect trinkets in this age.
Right.
When are you going to...
Well, that's your entertainment. It's just playing that music box. You don't have TV.
That's right.
Unless you're like Terminator, where it's just a fire inside of a fucking TV box.
Yeah, your TV is watching the sun rise and set. Right. You get 12 hours, maybe 13 on a good day.
So he hops back in the Interceptor with the dog and hauls ass, always on the move, looking for gas.
Right. I could see someone saying, well, it just kind of jumps from scene to scene. It's like, I don't need to watch Max just driving the empty desert for 20 minutes, hour,
right.
2 days.
90 minutes.
Right. So we cut away. He's pulling up because he spotted another roadside vehicle.
Right.
We're scavenging. We're looking for more gas. We're looking for anything we can find. And here is a weird-looking vehicle.
A gyrocopter, which apparently George Miller wrote into the movie because that way the movie company would pay for a helicopter because he wanted helicopter shots. And so he just came up with this cool, like, little contraption.
I like the way they used it.
And Max walks up on, he's looking around because he's like, why is this sitting out here in the open? I didn't notice this until I got the Laserdisc, which makes crystal pristine, clear images.
So good.
And this plays into the character we're going to meet. There's a picture of a naked woman on one of the tail fins.
Yep.
Griff, it's not just any naked woman. That's Karen Price, Miss January 1981, Griff. You want to know what her turn-ons are, Griff?
I saw something scrawled on your paper.
Yes.
And I was like, it must have been the gas line.
No.
Oh, God. Well, we're in the desert, so probably hot fucking sunshine.
You're right, Griff. That's one of her turn-ons. Along with smiles, great laughs, active people, water, and kissing. And the sun. You're right, Griff.
Damn.
Turn off. Any idea what her turn-offs are?
Oh, well, if she's a big fan of the sun, maybe she's afraid of the dark.
No. But she does not like smoking, drinking, negative attitudes, cursing, and lazy people.
Well, we don't have a lot of lazy people in this movie.
No, we don't, because they have to survive.
The mechanic's a little lazy, I think.
Yeah. Well, is he? You're saying he's not a paraplegic. He's just being lazy. He doesn't want to use his legs.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
So he walks up on the. He's like, "Hey, there's got to be some juice in that fucking gyrocopter."
Gasoline.
Of course, if you're from Detroit, where we have Greektown, it's Eurocopter.
It is Eurocopter.
But we'll call it, for you non-Greektown people, we'll call it gyrocopter.
That's right.
And so he sees there's a snake on the gyrocopter.
Yeah, and he's getting in rhythm with it. He starts hissing along with it, getting syncopated.
Lulling it.
Yeah, and so the snake is just getting entranced by him.
A little Mad Max cocksmog on
A
that
little
snake.
bit. I didn't think it worked on snakes, but here it is. Yeah. He's got a python of his own, apparently. So he fucking snatches the snake, and he's holding it up like fucking victory, and then all of a sudden from the ground jumps.
If you want one criticism, awful rubber snake. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, okay.
It's an awful rubber snake. And then all of a sudden, up out of the ground pops up a new character, the Gyro Captain, who's looking pretty gnarly. He's like, is he wearing like
they look like early Crocs.
Yeah, probably. He got Crocs and like long underwear. He's got some crazy fashion sense going on.
Yeah.
And he's got the fucking World War I fighter ace kind of headgear going on.
He's got like a fucking metal plate that like fans out,
like wings or something.
Very cool.
And he's got a fucking crossbow because nobody has fucking. This is in America where everyone has 12 guns.
That's a good point. If only this took place in America, there would be so many guns.
Right. And he's just like, this is a trap he laid for,
right?
Because he's obviously a beta, so he's got to he can't just come out and take what he wants. He's got to lay traps,
right?
So he's like, I've never seen a man grab a snake like that before.
You got agility. I see how you've made it so long out here.
Right? He's like sizing Max up. He's impressed because he can obviously see Max is a total alpha, so he's like sizing him up.
It's doing the Seagal thing. He is complimenting our guy for the audience to tell us like Max is the greatest badass of all time. Right. He got had by this guy, so he's gonna be. Oh, I love that interceptor, last of the V8s, of course. And he's like, good luck with it, booby trapped.
Right.
These are some of the few lines that Max actually says in this movie.
Yeah,
Does he even say booby trap? He just goes.
No, yeah, he goes booby trap. And then he's like, oh, I don't believe you. Let's go. He's like, well, you can deactivate it, can't you? And like Max just goes. He's got the fucking practically the arrow right at Max's back of his head.
I'm surprised you can even I talked about some of the things I hated about Fury Road. There's not a lot of hate about this movie, especially after this last watching. There's some things I'm like, yeah. But all the cockney he did in here, the peasy weezies, oh, the chonky wonkies. You're looking for chonky wonky. I'm looking for chonky wonky. Like Gyro was a lot.
He's a comic relief character.
Yeah,
we gotta have a little levity.
And I love it because he gets slapped around. He's a stooge.
Yeah,
perfect.
So he's got his long scarf too. I forgot to mention that.
That's right.
And so Max goes down to deactivate the bomb.
Of course, he's got a knife hidden on there, which is a fucking little detail I love. They put it in every Mad Max movie.
And just as he's about to unsheath that knife, Gyro Captain, he's been around. He's like, hey, smart guy like you probably have something underneath.
A little knifey wifey.
And he's like, I'd hate to have to pin your head right into your fucking interceptor.
Yeah. So Max is like, it's all set, man. It's all set.
He puts
doesn't even say a word. But podcast, we can't say nothing.
He just resheaths the knife.
Yep.
Gets up and then just like fucking walks away like he's gonna leave.
Yeah, he takes it. He doesn't walk slowly. He just takes it at a brisk pace and walks around the front.
Well,
of the
he's
car?
sized up the Gyro Captain.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, this guy's a chump. He's not gonna do anything.
He heard his crossbow shaking.
Right.
Maybe he heard the piss hit the ground.
And he's like, wait. Where do you think you're going, mate?
He gets Gyro all startled, and so Gyro loses his concentration. He walks right by the driver's side door, and then dog
lunges on him.
As soon as dog jumps out, there's Max with his knife.
Pulls up, pins the guy down. He's ready to fucking slash Gyro's throat. Wait! Gasoline! The refinery! Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. I got plenty of gas in a gun. Like I couldn't get in, but a man like you, who's got skills,
agility,
you could get the gas. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
All right, tell me what's hot.
No, he goes, crap, you're full of shit. No, I swear, I'll show ya.
You can't kill me, I'll show you.
Yeah, he's like, where's it at? You kill me and you never find out. So then we get this great fucking scene where Max has him tied up in his car.
So good.
The shotgun, like, set up. The dog's got a fucking rubber bone with the wire connected to the trigger.
Right. We get the shot of Gyro, looking out the window. He sees like a bunny skittering about, and then he looks back at the dog because he's like, oh my God, the dog's going to notice the bunny and turn, because that's how taut the string is.
And Max is just like smiling to himself, and they drive off, and then we come up upon the compound. I mean, at its essence, Road Warrior it's a cowboys and Indians movie. It's a fort being attacked by Indians because they got the war paint and the mohawks. So that's what it is. Its essence is it's a western.
Okay.
And I mean, and like Max is like the fucking man with no name, basically, like Clint Eastwood character.
Okay.
And so they find this kind of like rock formation that looks down upon this compound. Okay, apparently in the novelization, we learned that, because I guess.
Were you able to get that novelization?
No,
okay.
I've never even seen it. I've heard about it.
Yeah,
I've never even seen a picture of it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe much like Max, it just exists in my memory.
That's right.
Okay, so they could. Because you would think a refinery, there'd be buildings. This is just like a tent city. It's like weird,
It is weird, but driving down in Texas, that's the kind of shit you see. It's just like random.
There's an oil derrick and it's pumping the oil.
Even when I was in New Zealand, you saw that kind of shit just randomly, like a little derrick.
Yeah, but I can understand they'd have a derrick that's pulling up the oil, but then how do you refine? I don't know how you refine gas, turn it into gasoline.
Yeah. There's a process.
I would believe there would be buildings, but this is like, obviously they're going to blow this place up. Spoiler alert. So it's kind of like, I'm sure they were like, give the illusion that there's like, this is like a city or whatever, a fort.
You brought it up. This is Conan and the giant cog in the middle of nothing. You know, it's there. You're like, oh yeah, it's definitely doing something. It looks good. It fits the part. They built a little fucking fort around it. Right. It all makes sense.
Well, they didn't have the budget to. I'm saying like they probably didn't have the budget, obviously, to make what would be a real like oil refinery.
Yeah. But you get it.
But yeah, they give you enough.
Yeah.
That in your head
you know, gasoline.
All you need is the fucking oil derrick pumping. You go, okay, that's.
We know gasoline is a premium quality. We saw a fucking fight break out over it.
They've got different grades. They got the fucking shit that nobody gets. Who gets the fucking high grade?
I know. You need high grade for a V8 fucking Interceptor.
You do.
And Max smells it in the air. He's like, that's V8.
So apparently, according to the novel, Papagallo, who's the leader of this group, he was the CEO of the Seven Sisters Petroleum Company, which is, so he knew where this oil derrick was. So the thing is, he brought these people to this place. So he knew where they could get gas.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because apparently it's a joke, the Seven Sisters Petroleum, because there's 7 countries in OPEC. And it's kind of a conspiracy theory, which I don't think it's conspiracy theory, because I totally believe, why would you get together as oil-producing countries and not collude to raise prices? I mean, that's what you do.
For real.
So, so that's basically, they don't tell you that in the movie, but apparently in the novelization, they kind of throw that in there.
That's interesting.
So, okay. So they're watching it, and we're seeing all the fucking Humongous' gang just driving around, trying desperately to get into this compound. We got the good guys with their bow and arrows and their flamethrowers and shit.
Right. This is like kind of like a little game of footsie here. You know, they're just inching along, just daring them. Like, we could enter at any time. We could enter at any time.
You finally see the leader, the Lord Humongous. He's directing traffic, basically like, "Gay boy berserkers, you go there, and you do that." And he's talking to Wes and shit.
Yeah.
So you see, like, and you would go, "Oh my god, that's the guy from the beginning of the movie. He's working for this guy."
Right. And again, Max doesn't really do a whole lot of narrating or talking or anything. So you got Gyro kind of explaining, like, yeah, the Chunkawonkas are going day and night down there. You see, I've been watching this for several days, and I don't know how to get in there, But these guys just showed up a few days ago, and they're just circling. They're not going to go anywhere.
But a man like you could get in there. And then he's like, well, I did what I asked of me. Can you? Because he's got shackles on Gyro.
Yeah,
he's like,
arms and legs.
He's like, can you let me out? He's like, the deal was I wouldn't kill you. Fuck you. I love how what asshole he is to the gyro. Gyro captain at the end of the day is a good fucking dude, and he just treats him like shit through the entire fucking movie.
Yeah.
Because so the guy's like, okay. So then he chains him to like a piece of wood and just like leaves him there.
Right.
And then he just starts to surveil because that's what Max does. He observes.
He's got the binoculars out. You got the fucking hot sun just bearing right down on him. He covers the interceptor, everybody. I know you're saying, oh, the sun would shine off the shit. No, he covers the interceptor. Right. He puts a little visor over the fucking binoculars so no sun's going to reflect off. No one's going to notice them up there. It's brilliant. Right. So he's up there. It's getting hot. The boys fall asleep. The dog and Gyro, they fall asleep. And Max gets out the wrench. He starts tearing into a can of, what's it called?
Dinky dye.
Dinky.
Which apparently means like genuine or something in Australian slang or something.
Oh, okay.
And once again, how great this fucking movie is. Because he's eating fucking dog food. Like it's not Walking Dead. Hey, I found like a penicillin that still is good after 10 years. You know, it's just like, no, he's doing what he can do to survive.
And he's loving it too.
No, he's hating it. He's almost vomiting. He does that nice scene where he's trying to force it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he's like, and he's just like, because it's fucking dog food. It's old dog food at that.
It's just Mel fighting back saying something racist.
So
Look at that, everybody. I don't like Mel Gibson, but I can still love this movie.
Hey, he's Mad Max. He gets a pass from me. But so, and then the fucking jerk pulls a wooden spoon he's got out of his trench coat. Like he's like, yeah,
I can't wait.
Some of this. And then Max like throws it towards him and the dog.
Yeah.
No, it's for the dog.
Yeah. So fucking dog gets his fill of the dog food. Even he's struggling to get it down.
The jerk captain goes for it. The dog's like, fuck no, motherfucker.
Right.
You're taking my dog food.
So a little bit later, we see like nightfall, and Gyro does get...
Yeah, he's scraping the scraps out of the bottom
with
of the
his finger, Ron DeSantis pudding style.
Exactly. Ron DeSantis is the gyro captain of Florida. Yeah.
It's where,
except without the charm.
We're talking about influences.
Slightly better teeth.
Another
thing, I love gyro captain, rotten teeth. Why does everyone have pearly white teeth in post-apocalyptic movies?
Even when you're watching, what's it called, Fury Road, people had gnarly fucking teeth in that.
And so it's like, you got to eat what you can get. You know? So
okay, so morning comes around, and they're all sleeping hard here, and Dog wakes up first because there's vehicles leaving the little encampment.
Right, so something's going on. And Max sees his chance. He's like, maybe I can sneak in while these people are taking off, because these people are looking for a rig to carry this giant tanker of oil so they can they can find paradise 2,000 miles away on the coast.
All right, which is funny that they revisited that idea in Fury Road. Max has been down that road. They show him paradise in a little while here. They're like, look, paradise. And he's like, you're fucking stupid as hell. Whereas in Fury Road...
Well, I think that's the thing. You got to have hope. I mean, that's what Max has no hope.
Yeah. But just the fact that Max, I guess he realized like he has nowhere else to go, so he just went along with the ride. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, 2 cars leave, and so they just watch. And he's got his binoculars out. He's watching. One car head that way. One car head that way. You see Humongous like sending out troops. Like you see, 10 people this way, 10 people that way.
Right.
Because his encampment isn't surrounding, like Humongous's camp isn't surrounding the whole little Derrick town.
Yeah.
It's just like in the one corner. So they figure, they'll just follow after the 2 cars.
Right.
They all set out. And then Max is watching those 2 cars, and then he hears like a 3rd car starting up. And he looks back at the town, and they sent about a car in the opposite direction.
Right, so the 2 cars were decoys. This was the real car that's going to be looking for something to carry that rig. So Max sees his chance. sees a chance, and they think they're scot-free, but no, Wes spots that fucking car. They chases after it with a couple of his goons. They cause the car to crash, and then so Max still watching. We see that the gyro captain has, what do they call it? It's not a periscope. What is that long fucking telescope that the gyro captain has? And then Max sees that he's got like a better fucking thing. So he just grabs the fucking telescope from him, starts looking.
I love the gag work in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like, it's not super slapsticky. They didn't do any slapstick in Fury Road.
No.
So I'm not trying to say that. I'm just so used to modern movies. Whenever they give you something, it's full on Three Stooges level. Look at this fucking idiot.
Max is never silly. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like
Constant.
Gyro Captain is the comic relief.
Yes.
That's his job.
Max
I'm fine with it. I'm not fine. Like if Max was like shooting off quips like every fucking movie nowadays, I'd be infuriated. I'd be infuriated of this fucking movie.
Think about this. In 10 years, we're going to lose George Miller before he puts out a beautiful deluxe Road Warrior commentary, artwork, every little fucking note he's
never gonna
scribbled
happen.
out.
He's
never going to be able to do that because he's going to pass. I'm sorry, George. I love you. We're going to get a rebirth of Mad Max without George Miller.
Oh, yeah.
And you know who's going to be Max. Not Tom Hardy, who's great as Mad Max.
Right.
And actually needs to be the star of the movie.
Right.
Chris Pratt.
One of the Chris's of the apocalypse.
One of the four Chris's. It would be Chris Pratt, and he would be doing Star-Lord the whole time.
And it would be written by AI. Bet on that.
And
Bet on that.
for some reason, it would have his 80s volume tape mix, volume 4, whatever Guardian of the Galaxy mix we're on.
I hate that shit. You know what? Fuck those mixtapes. They suck.
Listen,
James Gunn, you have shitty taste in music.
dude, my Google feed thinks that I love Marvel movies apparently because they send me a James Gunn article, like 3 of them a day.
That's all I get on my browser is fucking James Gunn shit.
What the fuck, Google?
I must have hit one fucking story on a comic book movie, and that's all I get.
I know. It's so annoying how Google's brain thinks.
All right, so Wes stops the truck, and like he's just like, "All right, I'm ready to go." Unfortunately, there was a woman in the car, so we've got these are sick individuals.
They're brutal savages. They're doing what brutal savages do. We see it happen. Gyro's being the creep. You know, he's basically playing the role of what's his name in Body Double. So he hears the do 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 as he's watching, you know, a tragic tragic act of violence happen. He's like, oh, I remember lingerie. Yeah. Terrible.
Well, we see one character who for some reason gets a name, who has like 2 lines, Nathan.
Nathan.
Wes just pins him with the arrows to the tire of their car, so he's pinned there.
Again, brutalism.
And then meanwhile, like we pointed out, Wes is gay, so he has no interest in the woman at all. He just like says some orders to one of the Mohawk warriors and takes off.
This is almost kind of a playback to Mad Max as well, because remember, Toe Cutter's gang shows up. They wreck that car. They destroy the dude. They're having their way with the lady, you know, and the one guy stays behind.
Right. And so the guy rapes the woman, and then when he's done with
Johnny
her,
Boy. Was that his name?
Yeah, it was Johnny the Boy.
I'm sorry.
And then he's done with her, so he just pulls out the crossbow and shoots the woman. That's too far for fucking Gyro. He likes some kinky shit.
Yeah.
But he's like, holy shit.
That's
like,
a bridge too far. Yeah, for real.
And so Max like, here's my chance. Everybody's gone, so he goes down. We see
he's just got one guy to deal with.
Yeah.
And we've seen Max deal with one guy, no problem.
Right. He's got some bolt cutters in his hand. The guy's just
bolt cutters.
Adjusting his loincloth. I don't know what the fuck. He's like sitting on the ground doing something.
I love the face this guy makes because Max just kind of creeps up on him. And he turns and he's got a shitty goatee, so you know he's a fucking cretin.
Yeah. And he's like, he's trying to like go, hey, what's happening, buddy? As he's going for his crossbow.
Well, yeah, he doesn't even reach for his crossbow first. He like looks up and he's got kind of that smirk. The sun's in his eyes, so he's kind of wincing a little bit. And he's just like, hey, what's going on? He's thinking it's one of his boys or something. Then he sees it's Max, and then he lunges, and that's when Max steps on his fucking hand.
And it hits him across the head with the bolt cutter.
Oh, don't want that.
And then he goes up to the Nathan guy. He's like, look, he's like,
the continuity of bolt cutters in the Mad Max world, very real. It's in the first. It's in all the original 3, and plays a big role in Fury Road. Sorry.
So Max is like, he's like, oh, thank you. And Max's like, I'm not interested. I just want gas. If I bring you back, will I get gas? Whatever you want. Yeah, I can do that.
What was his goal? He needed a ticket into the fucking town mining oil right there.
Right.
And he's got it.
Yeah,
he's going to save this dude.
Right. He's just like, I need to fill up. I need to keep moving.
Yeah.
I have no interest in you people at all.
You clearly... Oh, sorry.
You have gas.
Yeah, you have an abundance of gas. I'm going to come in. I'm going to get my fill. Going to go.
And this guy's obviously desperate. He's dying. So he's like, yeah, whatever you want. Just get me back to that compound.
Right.
So we got the scene where he's got the bolt cutter because the guy's pinned to the wheel of his car. We get the nice Brian May. Bimp! Bimp! He hits the musical notes as he's cutting the bolts, cutting the arrows.
Right. I mean, the movie is so quiet. And so you got to kind of have that little filler ambient music in there.
Well, yeah, the music, and I think we pointed it out in Mad Max 2, it's very overpowering, but it fits this movie.
Yeah.
Because we learned that from Beyond Thunderdome, which had a traditional movie score, which there was something missing. It was this hammering kind of music. It works. So he puts a guy in the car, drives up to the thing. People are obviously wary. They see a guy in black leather. He looks like all the other people, so they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
I just want to say it's like, we've had 3 main scenes now, 4 main scenes now, if you include the scouting. Tension is the main element of every one of them. That's why you have that music. That's why you have the big Brian May score hits, when he's doing action. Because every scene, you don't know, he doesn't have a whole lot. If he gets jumped, he could just be completely fucked at one moment. The people could be bearing down on him in their vehicles, and then he's he's surrounded in a sea of getting fucked. And you get that in this movie. Oh. You don't get it so much in Fury Road.
Right.
I'm sorry to keep comparing it to that, but that's what we have to do here.
Right. I mean, you get just how fucking dangerous this world is.
Yes.
You could die at any minute.
Right.
And so, yeah, he takes his gun belt off. He's like, look, I got this guy.
Right. He's carrying the guy on his shoulder, gun belt on the other one. He's got wrench. Oh, just looking at his utility belt. I could just stare at that for 9 hours.
Right. So this is where we see the warrior woman for the first time. That's her name, just warrior woman. She doesn't get a name. I agree with you. Bad crimped hair. Crazy eyebrows. That was...
Even Gyro's interest later, she's got the weird fucking...
She's got a rope. It looks like a rope.
Yeah,
on her head.
it's...
Hey, they're living off their land too.
Guys, I'm sorry if you're listening, if you're watching Road Warrior for the first time.
First of all, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I mean, based on our audience, how are you watching this for the first time? But...
Well, you are, through our words, you are watching it for the first time.
That's a good point.
Because we're pointing things out you probably never picked up on.
But you definitely just have to kind of go along with this because, man, I have certainly learned to appreciate this town. I still hate the women's hairs.
I hate everybody in this town. We'll learn as we go along why.
We'll get there, yeah.
But yeah, and we see they're all wearing white. It's the bad guys wear black. The good, like I said, it's like a Western, like an old-fashioned Western. And we see the warrior woman. We see the mechanic who's like a paraplegic. We allegedly, or he's just lazy, like Griff said. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
We see the leader, Papagallo. One of the few people that's worthy enough to have a name in this movie.
Right. He's got stupid, wavy
blonde
hair.
And when Max is brought in, they're disgusted by this because they think he's just one of these marauders. They think he's one of the gang. Maybe he's trying to sneak in and get info.
But you didn't mention it, and it's we know Feral Boy. We don't know Feral Boy at all at this point, right?
We do see him as he's driving up. We see him because he's got this little network groundhog tunnels everywhere. And he looks out there and he's curious about what he's seeing.
He actually follows behind Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Feral Boy, he's got a whiff of things. So he smells Max and he's like, this guy's good.
Right.
So he's following right behind him. He's like, I want to know this man.
Right. It's just finally, because fucking the biggest alpha in this compound is Feral Child.
Yeah.
So he finally, it's game recognizes game. Somebody's on my level.
I agree with this 100%.
Right. Well, that's the thing. If you've listened to my show, I hate children.
Yeah.
In movies and in real life.
Yeah.
Fucking love the feral kid.
You love him?
He's a fucking baller, dude.
He's really cool.
He's cool.
You know what? I feel like he has baby Jim Dandy energy. Giant fur boots, fur pelt, no shirt. I mean, when this kid grows up, he's going to play a washboard and he's going to be hot
Once
and nasty.
again, has a metal boomerang. How did he get this? Did he make it? I don't know. It's up to me to decide. George Miller said, let you figure out his origin story.
I just love when he emerges from that hole. You see him with the boomerang. You got the sunlight, glinting off it.
Looking like Chaka from Land of the Lost.
It's fucking amazing. And then he's got that giant, gnarly, like, hawker's glove. And you're like, oh, shit, is this kid, like, keeping a falcon or something? What's going on here? And you're going to learn very quickly if you pay attention to that detail.
Right. So they
so good.
They grab Nathan. They're working on him. Some guy who looks like Christopher Cross with like fucking cold sore on his lip, like stumbles up. There was a woman there.
Yeah,
he's
creepy as fuck.
Yeah. And I was like, how did he get this woman? What was up with she? This guy's the creepiest guy in the fucking compound.
Oh, 100%.
Balding, cold sores. I want to stay away from this guy.
Right. What? How did he get those in this world? How?
You know why? Because he looks like Christopher Cross. And he has a beautiful voice like Christopher Cross. He's singing, "Sailing, take me away." So Max is like nonchalantly, yeah, she didn't make it. He's like, oh, what? And then Warrior Woman doesn't trust Max at all. He's fucking scum. And then Papagallo's like, so, like, what do you want? He's like, hey, we made a deal. I get him here. He gives me the fucking juice. And then they scream out, oh, my God, he died. He's like, well, I guess your deal died with him, buddy.
That's right. Papagallo, you know what? You're kind of... It's hard to take anybody at their word, obviously, in this time and age.
Yeah, you can't.
You're surrounded by savages. Like, you don't know who's good, who's bad. You don't know how to size anybody up. He brought you back a guy that he might have harmed himself. You don't know any better. No one in the town saw it. So it's like, how do I just take this guy at his word?
Right.
It makes sense. Like, you get it on both sides.
So not only do they handcuff Max, they're going to take his car. And the guy, the mechanic, he's like, last of the V8 Interceptors. Shame to blow it up. Pulls out the bomb that Max has.
That's right.
And it's like, damn, they're going to take his shit.
They've even figured out his fucking traps. They know his games. They know it all.
So as they're trying to figure out what to do with Max, we hear the fucking gang coming back, the Marauders.
Dun, 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 dun,
dun, dun. They're not alone. They got all the people that tried all the decoys strapped to the hoods of their cars.
Right.
Humongous has this contraption where he's got the two of the guys tied to the fucking front.
It's like the if you're familiar with football practice, like the sleds that they use for the blockers to rush into.
Who knew that in future Australia they really love American football because they got the fucking shoulder pads, they got the fucking the pads like you said.
I mean, if you know anything about rugby, like I do, after watching one rugby game live in my lifetime, when they practice, they just tackle trees. So you don't have this equipment.
Right.
They literally just go into the woods and tackle trees because they're that brutal.
So they just handcuff Max to like some like pipe or something to keep him out because they got to deal with this new fucking situation. So now we finally get to hear from the Lord Humongous. But before that,
you helped me with this one. I didn't realize he had a name until later.
Yes, we see his hype man, Toady.
Oh, Toady looks amazing too.
Yeah,
he really shows up looking like an announcer.
He looks like a skunk. He's got like the sunglasses, one eye like blocked out.
He's got like a Napoleon hat on too.
But it's made out of like fucking muskrat fur or some shit. Like you can tell this guy is just desperately trying to survive. He's the fucking punching bag of his entire gang.
Right. He's old. He looks withered and everything.
Probably an accountant in the before time.
Right. So it's like, what is his like? We could do 9 hours on what is the value of everybody in this gang who doesn't just appear to be muscle.
Right.
Fucking talking about golden hair or whatever you call them.
The Golden Youth.
The Golden Youth. It's just like, what is his value other than he's the prize of Wes's life?
That's his value, yeah. Because everybody has to have some kind of value or you're gone.
Right. So this guy apparently had something that Humongous liked.
He makes Humongous laugh probably because like they probably just pick on this guy all the time.
Humongous has a hard time laughing, so that would be very valuable.
Exactly. And he's a hype man. That's his job. So it was like, ladies and gentlemen, the warrior of the wasteland, the Ayatollah of rockin' rolla. And then fucking Humongous got his fucking PA system set up.
Beautiful. Oh, God.
And so, okay, this is where we're in the realm of fantasy. We're like, unless this guy found a big cachet of protein bars, I don't know how he's maintaining his physique. Yeah. I bet Joe Coleman could tell us.
Joe Coleman definitely could.
But he's totally ripped, got the S&M gears, got the fucking hockey mask.
Maybe he found like those tactical military like MREs rations and everything, Maybe he found some of that shit.
I don't know, but he's looking good.
Yeah, he's looking fucking great. And so, I mean, Wes is looking pretty good too.
Yeah.
He's not as ripped, but he's still got the size and he's got a little bit of cut to him.
Right. Humongous, played by a Swedish bodybuilder. And he, like we said, he's basically the prototype for Jason. He's got the fucking wispy, like, hair.
Yeah, Jason has the wispy hair, too.
Something's happened to him.
We were saying he imitated the mask. You're right. He also imitated the wispy hair.
All of it.
And the gnarly
Total
head.
ripoff.
Yeah.
Except Humongous is 100 times cooler.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So, because here's the thing. Most people, because he just got a wrestling promo. So you're expecting him to go, let me tell you something. No. Humongous is totally soft-spoken, always chooses his words correctly.
I talked about how the first time I watched this, I was like, I was weird about the villagers, but there's something about that dude, that mask, that physique, talking like Humongous does, where you're just like, wait, what?
And he's just like, I'm so disappointed you made me unleash my dogs of war. Because he just wants to, he's like, I don't want to kill you guys. I just want the gas.
Yeah.
He's like, you sit in there and you hold your gas. You don't share it with anyone. He has a kind of a good point.
Right.
Why do they get the gas? Huh? I don't know. Because they're there first, finders keepers?
Right. And think about this. It's like the town, if they're so keen on just surviving in this little encampment, what are they get? They're going to take some gas and then they're probably going to leave? Like, I mean, maybe they'll just come kill you, but still, it's like,
that's what they're going to do. But he's playing devil's advocate,
right? So you could just think like, well, we can work out a barter where we give them some gas and they leave our encampment alone, because it's like, is it about your life? Or is it about owning some kind of commodity?
Right.
And I'm stuck.
Is this like a 1% versus 99% scenario?
It could be.
Because, Papagallo was a CEO, according to the novelization.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say, is Papagallo's like...
So he believes... Papagallo believes he has a right to this because of his standard in the previous world.
Maybe, but what I'm also trying to say is that if he controls the oil, he controls a lot of things.
Yes, of course, yeah. You're right.
It's obviously a huge commodity, even in the desert wasteland of the world that we live in.
Right.
In Road Warrior.
So he's just like...
Not today.
He's like, you sent out people looking for a rig to carry out that tanker of juice. What a puny plan. And then we see our boy Feral Child pull out one of his groundhog holes.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, I've had enough of this shit. Like, you guys are pussies. Like, he can't say, he's a feral child. He doesn't know how to speak. He's literally an animal.
He speaks in gnarls.
Right, because he's never been taught how to speak.
Again,
who knows how long he's been living on his own?
You've all, of course, seen this movie. So you know that he was narrating the opening scene.
Right.
And he tells us at the end of the movie, I became the leader of the town. And he's speaking like goddamn, Christopher Lee. All of a sudden, he's got this great voice. Where did you learn it? Did he get a tape deck?
No, they taught him.
Oh, they taught him.
Because he's
Adam Ant taught him.
At this point, he's living the life he has to live to survive.
Right.
He has time to learn about shit.
No, of
he's
course
just
not.
surviving. He's wearing fucking the skins of animals. He probably killed himself with his fucking boomerang.
Right.
So he steps out and he's like, he's not saying anything, but with his eyes, he's saying a lot. Because we can read eyes.
Right.
And he's like, I've had it up to here with this shit. I'm going to finally take care of this motherfucker. So he fucking hurls his fucking boomerang at him.
George Miller did a good job, because how on a camera back then do you do like a boomerang going toward...
And I love how they're embracing their Australian roots. They're like, look, we're not trying to make a movie for America. This is our culture.
Right.
All right. So he just throws it, And then he just comes, but he's just like showing people what he knows. He throws it and then he just catches it because with his Falconeer fucking thing. You said
I got a connection too that I need to talk about. So remember, when he catches it, he doesn't just catch it. There's so much force coming back at him. He does a backflip too. Okay, just put that in your mind for later.
Okay,
let's see if I remember it. Let's see if
he does do a backflip. I don't know if it's at this point, but he does do a backflip.
I thought it was here, but whatever. We'll move on.
And then he's just showing his skills.
Right. And Wes, of course, is just like...
Wes, feeling a little intimidated, has to show his skills.
Yeah.
So a rabbit's walking by. He just, with his fucking hand crossbow, hits a rabbit, showing out. He's like, I can do shit.
Right.
And then it's almost like they're challenging each other.
It was almost like... The two of them are locking eyes, and they were both feral childs, because we know how Wes talks. Huh? I'll kill you! So Wes isn't very far from the feral life either.
And then we see those guys that are strapped to the front of Humongous's truck. Did you recognize one of the guys?
No, I did not.
The guy, the mentally challenged guy from Mad Max, it's a different character, but same actor, is the guy with the fucking Amish beard, and the shaved head. That's the same actor.
Nice.
And he's like, don't give him anything. And fucking Wes is getting irritated by this. So he just comes up, headbutts the guy, crushes his skull.
Yeah.
And then fucking goes back to let's fucking Humongous finish his speech.
Standing his ground. Humongous. Oh my God, there's supposed to be a federal law that our conservatives are trying to pass to have stand your ground laws everywhere.
Oh, that won't be bad at all.
That won't be bad at all. We haven't had horrible murders based on stand your ground recently. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry.
So, all right, he upped the ante. He fucking killed the rabbit. So now Feral Kid's got to do his shit. So he just hurls it at fucking Wes. Wes dives out of the way.
Of course he did. Or of course he does. He's got the agility for days.
Golden Youth not paying attention.
Right.
Chunk right in his fucking
Golden
head.
Youth's got to be high on something because his stare.
Amyl nitrate poppers.
Thank you. Murray.
And boom, goes slices right into the head. Fucking Wes loses his shit because this is his son, as Vernon Wells would say. We say gay lover.
Vernon Wells
loses his shit, and he's just like, no, we go in and we kill them. Like fucking Humongous is like, you're fucking with my speech here. Has to put him in a chokehold.
Yeah, because he jumped up. He was doing the PA system, and he was trying to get the mic away from Humongous. Humongous not losing his cool. He's still talking.
Yeah, before he flips out, he grabs the fucking boomerang and hurls it at Feral.
Oh, yeah, you got to remember that.
Yeah, because this is a classic scene. Because now Toadie's like, this is my end. They're going to love me for this. Yep. I'm going to catch that boomerang. I'm going to look so cool doing it.
You're right. He's totally a suck-up because he is Gyro eating the 3 fingers of dog food afterwards.
Exactly.
After somebody jizzed in the jar and shit, you know?
Right.
It's like he is the bottom of the totem pole.
And so it's like, Lord Humongous, I'll grab the boomerang for you.
I love this too, because while he's chasing to catch the boomerang, you get a cut of Lord Humongous, and he is shaking his head. Right. He knows everything bad is about to happen.
Right. And so, of course, we all know this scene. He goes to grab it. Fingers get chopped off because he doesn't have the fucking glove.
Yep. Beautiful shot. You don't even see his fingers turn into hot dogs.
And the always sympathetic gang, what do? They start laughing at him.
Of course they do.
And he's like, silence! There's been enough of this.
And again, like we were trying to say, getting into saying, because we're just too excited, everybody. We're so fucking excited. Wes jumps up. He's trying to get in there. He's trying to take over the PA. He's trying to do the wrestling promo. I'll kill you! I'll fuck you up! And that's when Humongous, again, calm. You hear him talking. Calm, my dog of war. Calm.
We've all lost someone we loved. And he basically explains to Wes, like, yeah, when they let us in, we're gonna kill everybody. He's like, you'll get your revenge, but we gotta get the guys first.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. So we know, like, we learn Humongous is not gonna honor any deal. He just wants to sweet talk his way into that compound.
So there's no both siding this. They're brutal, they're savage, they're trying to survive, and they're going to take out any threat to their survival.
So Humongous leaves them with this one proposition. If you leave and leave the guys, I'll spare your life. Just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just walk away, and you will survive. Meanwhile, we know he just told Wes that's bullshit. They're going to kill everybody no matter what. And then he's like, I give you 1 day, and then I'll be back.
So, of course, we go down to the camp. Everybody's bickering. Your favorite character of the movie.
I don't know, annoying bitch. I don't know what, this fucking annoying old lady. He seems like a reasonable person. This old fucking army dude. He's like, I can talk with him. I can talk to him into whatever.
Let me tell you, I have negotiated many deals in the past.
Fucking Max is just like going, oh, these people. Like, what have I gotten myself into? He's just sitting there. And then we see our little groundhog hole pops up. Whack-a-mole pops up the feral kid.
Right.
And he's just like I said, this is game recognizes game. He's like showing off his boomerang to Max, covered in blood and brain matter.
And he's like smirking at it and everything.
He's just like
showing off his little gnarled teeth.
We're one of a kind.
Yeah.
And Max is like, he's a little amused by this. And he's just like, because he's fucking remembering this would be little Sprague. If Sprague had lived, this would be Sprague. So heartstrings getting pulled a little. So he pulls out that music box, starts playing. This is the first entertainment feral kid's ever seen. His mind is blown. This is like fucking the first time I ever played Atari. I was like, what am I seeing? What is this?
What was that experience like? How old were you?
The first time I ever played a video game.
Sorry, sidebar, everybody.
I was probably 8 or 9 the first time I ever played a video game.
Okay.
I obviously knew a pinball.
Yeah.
But yeah.
At home entertainment, though.
Because I remember the first time my sister took me to the arcade. I think it was called Funtastic. I had no idea. Like, I played Pac-Man. I had no idea what to do. I didn't know the ghosts. You had to get away from them.
Yeah.
So I lost immediately.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, it was weird. And the music box is the equivalent of fucking that.
Right. I can't even remember because I was like, Nintendo came out in 87, just happens to be the year of Griff's birth. And so we had one by like 89 or something. And so it's like, some of the only memories I have of my first childhood home are playing Nintendo.
Right.
Fucking Mario Brothers, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, I had awful, boring Atari. But you loved it because that's all you had.
Well, yeah, it was entertaining. But you had like 2 fucking games.
Yeah, the hardest games because there was no point to them. They just got faster. That was all it was.
Nintendo hard, as we call them today.
Yeah. And so Max, like, first he fakes, he goes to throw it. He's like fucking with the kid like he's a dog. He throws it, and then he throws it at the kid, and the kid's ecstatic. He's like blown away.
Yeah. And then he runs off to a hole.
And he just runs fucking away to play with his music.
You know what? It's because he doesn't talk. Doesn't talk. That's why you like him. He doesn't talk.
And so they're like, what are we going to do? Are we going to talk to this guy?
Yeah.
Warrior Woman's like, don't fucking negotiate with
Back
these
to
guys.
the adults.
And then Max, you hear that whistle?
Okay, so you see that there is clearly, like, muscle. They're guards, they got bows, they got the fucking armor
I don't know if
on.
they call them muscle, but yeah.
They're supposed to be. They're the bravest to actually hold the bows.
We see that fucking weirdo with the cold sword shooting at us. We'll never give up! As soon as they leave, he says. He finds his balls when they leave.
Right, of course. And then, they're saying, Warrior Woman is saying, we just lost, because they set out cars of 2 people to be bait. So they lost six of their guard force, They're like, we don't have muscle to do anything.
Yeah, they're like, every day they're getting stronger and we're getting weaker.
Yes, thank you.
And then Max blows that whistle and he's like, 2 days ago, I found a rig that was tough enough to carry that.
Whoop! You want to talk? You talk to me.
Right.
That was so... I'm sorry, it was just like... so fucking good. There's just so many badass moments for Max in this movie. The driver of the movie, not the passenger. And that was one of them.
So that night, they're working out the deal. Max just wants as much gas as he can carry in his car, wants his car back. And he's like, I'll do it. And like, they're like, how do we trust this guy? He's like, well, he needs his wheels, doesn't he? And he's like, yeah, because you're going to take some gas with no car? Yeah, so he's like, yeah, we can trust. Papa Guy is like, all right, I trust the guy. We'll do that. So they hook him up with like 4 tanks of gas on a little like crossbar across his shoulders.
That's right. He's going out at night.
Right.
He's trying to do this because he can't take a car. They'll hear it.
Right.
So he's got to walk all the way to his tanker.
There's another nice little touch.
Please.
Cold sore guy pulls out the fucking oil can and oils his fucking leg brace.
Nice.
You didn't see that? So he wouldn't squeak.
I love that. I did not notice that.
First of all, love the continuity because remember, Max got shot in the leg in Mad Max, and now he has that fucking leg brace on his leg.
So don't even tell me where Fury Road falls in the timeline. It's clearly after 2 because he has the leg. Oh, well, I guess it could still be after 1, but he has the leg brace.
Yeah. So he heads out, immediately falls down fucking because it's pitch black out.
Right.
He's going right through the compound of the Marauders.
Right.
Falls down a hill, makes a lot of fucking noise.
His tanks are plastic, but in this moment they're made of metal.
Right.
So they make a metally jangly noise.
One of the guards hears it, looks out,
starts
and
walking.
it's funny because I watched this on Blu-ray, and there's so much you miss when you watch it on the shitty VHS because it's so murky.
Yeah,
it's clear on this one, so you clearly see you got Max at the bottom of the hill. Feral Boy's literally just 10 feet away from Max.
Yeah.
I didn't know where he was originally.
Yeah.
And he's making wolf noises to mask Max.
Still on the blind side of the guard who walks
Above,
out.
on top of the hill, we see the guard
Yeah.
looking out. And then he hears the fucking wolf. He's like, oh, it's just some fucking coyote or some shit.
So he chucks some shit out there, and he's like, fuck off. And then, the guard himself fucks off.
So when sunup arrives, Max is back at that little observation area he was looking at in the beginning.
Yeah,
of the
his
movie.
lookout that he was with Gyro on.
So he's walking, going to back to that rig, and he bumps into a familiar character.
Yeah. Dragging a log
Yeah,
beside
because he
him.
left the fucking gyro captain there still chained. So he's dragging that fucking log, still shackled.
I'm sorry, we got to stop here and talk about this because it's just like Max's value of life here, Gyro, who has shown no harm to him. He
wants to be his friend.
Could still be a threat, but still, Max just does not give a single fuck. He got pulled into that town. He'd be like, hey, pull this guy in too. No. Leaves him out there because it's number 1, I need to survive.
Right. Well, Max is completely burnt out. He wants nothing to do with humanity at this time.
Right.
And so, and who knows what shit he's seen in the 5 years between the movies? Like how many people he's killed, how many times these people have tried to betray him.
George leaves us with all of those beautiful thoughts.
Right.
Again, the one main thing I hate about Fury Road is all the stupid flashbacks that apparently you had to buy a comic to learn more about.
Right. If you guys are wondering what was going on with the flashback of the girl, because I'm sure like you were thinking Max had a son. Why is that supposed to be his daughter? It is explained in a series of comic books that DC Comics put out.
Yeah.
It's bullshit that you have to buy that shit. But yes, you will. It will.
That's the one thing.
Sense.
That's the one thing he stole from somebody else. George Miller did, because remember, that of course is what Universal.
It was the reverse. Cyborg gave you the comic. You had to get the
VHS.
finish by watching the movie.
Yes, of course.
That's so canon.
It's just so fucking annoying.
That's my favorite Nickelodeon show too. That's so canon.
That's okay.
But, so Max is like, hey, I got somebody to fucking haul this heavy gas for me.
Again, we're saying this in looks. Mel Gibson, for as horrible of a human being as he is, does an amazing job of just looking up, looking down at Dog, and then you see like Gyro turn his shoulder when
Dog
he hears...
starts barking at him.
I was going to say, when Dog starts barking, Gyro turns and he's like, I know that fucking bark. And next scene because he fades to black and then he comes back to, and there's Gyro in chains hauling the gas down.
Right. But he's trying to do his best. He's like trying to make conversation.
He's having fun. Max, we should. He doesn't know his name.
Yeah.
We really should be fucking partners. Do you remember like cool things like lingerie?
Lingerie. Remember that lingerie.
He does have that deep, gruff voice.
They arrive at the gyrocopter, and
there's a car and a dead guy.
Right. It's like the snake. The snake worked, and he's.
Is another little jolly scene here where he grabs the snake. He's so excited, but then Dog runs over and grabs the butt of the snake, and him and Dog are fighting over the snake.
It's my snake. I trained it. I'm gonna eat it.
I know a delicious recipe for snake. You put it over a fire.
While that's going on, Max is scavenging the body.
Because of course, survive first.
Looking through it. Sees like a fucking 21-sided die, can't use that. No D&D in this world.
D&D in the
Throws
future.
it away.
Grabs one shell out of his pocket. Or no, he grabbed like some metallic thing.
He's just junk, and then he pulls out a couple shotgun shells. He's testing them, see they're good. One just crumbles in his hand.
Squeezes it between his fingers, explodes.
Other one seems pretty tight. Opens up the gun. We learn that he's never had any bullets.
He has been threatening. We're to believe that he threatened again Gyro with his shotgun in order to get, or his sawed-off shotgun, in order to get him to walk the gas. So this is like 35, 45 minutes into the movie, and we're just now learning there is no ammo in it.
Right.
We don't even know if he had ammo, if it would be good. You know how long the bit takes in Fury Road? 2 minutes. They show a
Fury
shot.
Road's only 2.5 hour movie. They have to, cut corners somewhere.
Let's be generous. It is 2. It is 2. Okay. But they do that little nod, and I was just like, no, the whole amazing part of it is it takes so long. It's a big, long bluff. And it's like, there apparently is enough shotgun shells where you believe in it and everything, and we believe in it as the audience, and you learn about it, and the audience is also like, holy fucking shit.
Well, not only do we learn, Gyro learns. And he's like, you never had any bullets. That's low, man. That's low. It's awful.
I should take control of this situation right now.
And he's like, how do I know that bullet's a dud? He's like, you want to try it? And he puts the gun to fucking Gyro's face. Like, no. And, I want to point out, George does another great job in that you never really get to see the gyrocopter in full frame.
Okay.
Because it's obviously in real life a one-seater. Because there's no fucking way in hell this gyrocopter could hold 2 guys, a dog, and 4 tanks of gas.
Yes.
Because they're going to use it, obviously, to go to the rig.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's always, you just get like, you never get a full-on shot. So you never can get an idea of how this copter works.
Size and all that
Scale.
good stuff.
So they get to the rig. Max starts it up, puts the gas in, and then Gyro goes to fucking get in with him. I don't know. We're done. We're done. And he's like, I thought we were partners. He just throws him the keys. Like, here, you can unshackle yourself. You've earned that.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're partners. Like, no, we're not.
Max is taking off, and you still got Gyro. What partners? We'll take over the world. All right.
Max, he's right on the outskirts of the Marauder camp. He's readying himself. He checks his gun again. See, he's got that one shell. He's like, all right, time to do this shit.
Because he knows, the reason he walked all the way here to not alert the fucking the savages outside of the town. But now we're heading back in a goddamn semi.
Right.
Of course, it's going to alert everybody.
And who does it alert first? Wes getting a fresh fucking mohawk done. He's getting his hair done. And
he's getting ready for the funeral of Golden Boy.
He hears that fucking semi immediately in kill mode. He's furious.
Oh, yeah. You get to see him, jump up, fucking straight razor, goes right through his skull. It doesn't matter. He's got the fucking blood coming off him. He's rushing across to get to his vehicle. Boys on the ground. They're getting in position. They already know which way Max is going to be coming from. So they grab was it a rock or did they use something else? But they fucking chuck or was it a chain? I don't remember what they used, but they fucking hit his windshield.
Yeah, they just threw something.
They threw a rock or whatever. And it, right out of Mad Max, we saw this. These guys who live on the road, they just learn precision accuracy. Because we saw Johnny the Boy throw a rock and smash right into a car too.
I want to point out so I don't forget, they originally were going to have Humongous was going to be Goose. And I'm so glad they did not go with that.
Oh, big time.
I don't want these silly coincidences. No. Max's old life is behind him.
Yes.
He's never going to see his wife ever again or any of that shit.
No, I wouldn't have known any better because that would have been our existence. But still, it's knowing this is where the story went makes it so much cooler, so much bleaker.
And there's also people, internet nerds, no, it's Fifi. No, Humongous is his own guy. I don't want those connections.
Yeah.
It's too stupid.
It's so much cooler that Max, in 5 years, every single connection he had to any semblance of humanity he had, a wife, a son, a house, gone. That's the story.
Right. So they're like chasing him. Our boy Gyro, he's not going to give up on Max. He's just like, look, he's just, he's in a bad mood. There's a bit of a battered wife syndrome going on between Max and Gyro. Because he's still going to help Max. He's got some fuel left in his gyrocopter, so he's fucking running point for Max. He's like, pulls out his snake, drops it on a fucking, because the guy's ready to just fucking hit. He's got like, they're driving El Camino, and they have a fucking like dart gun. Like they shoot like multiple fucking darts.
Okay, here's another inspiration that George got. Yeah, I mean, Gladiators. Yeah, that TV show. They clearly.
Yeah, the what would they call pummel sticks or
pummel sticks? Yeah. That was
So guy,
I think American Gladiators was the 90s, but still, that's what it reminds me of.
I think it was 89. It was like 80s.
It's still like 7 years after.
This guy's lining up his shot. He's going to blow out all the tires on the semi. No, our boy, Player Gyro Captain, he was going to eat this snake. He was going to have the best meal of his life. But no, he cares more about Max. So he drops the fucking snake, and the guy, once again, awful rubber snake. But hey, no movie's perfect.
It works.
All right? And the guy's like, and then he shoots the fucking driver instead of his car. They crash. Wes is on the fucking semi, just clawing at fucking Max. Max pulls out the fucking gun, ready to shoot. Just blows up in his fucking
dud.
Gun. He's just like, fuck.
Beautiful. It's just so good. And now we're getting cuts because obviously the whole camp has been, woken up by this and everything. Everything's stirring. What's Humongous doing? Well, we know he's this giant muscle man, but he's just cool and calm all the fucking time. He's walking over. He's got his boy, Toady, opening a case with a giant fucking wildy in it.
Right.
Just the red velvet lining, the embedding.
There's
the fucking,
like 6 bullets left.
Yeah.
He's conserving these things.
Yeah.
And we see there's there's like an iron cross. There's
it's like a skull.
Skull and crossbone. That's the symbol of the SS.
Yeah.
Like, don't explain it. It's just that's what he has. Did he find it? Is it a family heirloom? Is it his?
You can think about these are fucking little stories we get to enjoy as the fans and true audience of this movie. So he's loading it up. Like you said, he doesn't put all 6 bullets in. 1. Closes the chamber and just sets up.
And remember, this is the 80s. What do the 80s guns have? Scopes. All it is a revolver with a fucking giant scope on it.
It's true.
I wish we had Jack here to explain, our weapons master, explain the,
Jack might be very upset with us right now.
Yeah,
There's probably
of course he is.
lot.
He's always upset with us when we talk about
yeah.
guns. We don't know anything about guns.
That's right. Sorry, Jack.
So he lines up the shot, and he's like, well, I could kill this guy. No, I'm going to shoot the radiator. I'm going to take this fucking truck out so they can't even use it.
Right. The puny plan, get the truck, get the oil, drive out of town. He's cutting it off at the knees.
Right, and he hits the radiator, and it's like blowing. There's fucking steam coming out of there, but Max just makes it in just in time. But as he goes in, a couple cars get in with him.
Oh, yeah, it's a total mad scramble because the semi is their lifeline. They're like, we got to let that in.
Right.
We can't leave that out there.
They have buses that are like gates, basically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, good call.
And then they close it. You see there's a guy in the pink 57 Chevy, and he's got a pink dyed beard.
I didn't notice that.
He tried to get in. His beard is dyed pink. He's like out of the Village People, and he gets fucking set on fire because they got those fucking flamethrowers on the side of the gate, so he gets blown on fire. Wes is like, the gate! Go for the gate! Because he got inside on the fucking semi.
Right.
Fucking...
We got Wes and like a couple other guys in there, and they're just... causing chaos.
A goon goes for the gate, but the fucking Christopher Cross guy shoots him with a crossbow, and Wes is right next to him and sees it, and he's shitting himself because he's trying to reload his crossbow. Wes does a beautiful fucking flip, spins around.
I'm glad I remembered it. Think about that flip, and think about who else does a flip in the apocalypse here. Feral child.
He did.
Neither of them can speak. They're both kind of feral. They both are agile for days.
We teased that we forgot to mention, after he killed the Golden Youth, he did a backflip into his little like tunnel system.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that he did the backflip.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to bring it around to.
Are you saying that he might be the son of Wes?
I'm saying he's absolutely the son of Wes. I'm not saying he.
So maybe
might be.
there's some truth to this. Golden Youth was the surrogate son to replace he lost Fairchild, and he needed that son figure in his life.
Remember, we have all kinds of.
We read Wes wrong, totally.
Whoa! You're taking this a little too far.
I'm taking it where Vernon Wells took it.
Yeah, I know you are. Maybe Vernon Wells knows better than me, but I'm still trying to say, there's obviously commentary on society and everything, and in the 80s, you couldn't be gay. We watched Cruising.
Well, you could be a villain if you were gay.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be a good guy gay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he can't be an open gay guy, especially when the world is going to nothingness here.
You think that would matter? At this
Maybe.
point?
I think when he's trying to get.
I mean, I guess there could be the whole thing where if it's really a fight for survival, the machismo really gets taken to the next level. Or it could be, I don't know. I think Humongous is just like, I want to use the best people possible.
No. Humongous is totally up there. Wes is not. Wes is clearly an emotionally driven man.
Yes.
So I think
he's erratic.
Yeah, he's very erratic. So I think, when he joined a tribe and everything and they were raping and pillaging and doing all that kind of thing, Wes went along with it because he was like, well, this is how I do it.
I got to fit in.
I got to fit in. Yeah. And he fit into some
lady.
Almost
like Toady.
He fit into some lady's puss and impregnated her, and that became feral. That's my story.
But that's the beauty of this movie.
That's the beauty.
That is your backstory. It might not be the same backstory I have for Fairchild.
Yeah, you want to believe Vernon Wells.
Yeah, it's you. You just spoke your truth, your road warrior truth.
I did.
Yeah. All right, we'll go with it. I'm not going to deny it. It could be.
I mean, the kid's got fucking inherent agility, clearly, and we saw that Wes has that inherent agility as well.
Yes, he does. He does a perfect 10 flip, the spin, double axle, whatever the fuck you call it.
He's got that fucking third sense for boomerangs that clearly Fairchild does.
Grabs Christopher Cross, headbutts him, crushes his skull.
Beautiful.
He's getting ready to go to open the gate. Max, because there's nobody at the main gate right now, so Max jumps on, grabs a flamethrower, saves the day.
Right.
Wes knows, he's like, fuck, he's ready to fucking attack, and then the gyro captain fucking starts flying in.
Yeah.
Wes is like, fuck, there's too many people. I gotta regroup.
Before he does, though, calls out Max.
Well, yeah, he leaps, he grabs like a fucking, I don't know what it is.
This is kind of like the impetus to the whole Fury Road, like the guy swinging on the
pole.
Think about that.
Lands on the ground, get a nice little butt shot from his
Of
chaps.
course, he's wearing the assless chaps.
And even though all chaps are Atlas.
That's right.
Assless.
Atlas, I love
Atlas.
it.
That's
Just
a
maps.
call back to Greek mythology.
There we go.
And he's like, you can run, but you can't hide. Which, of course, that's what Vernon Wells wrote on my action figure.
Oh,
Callback.
Yeah.
And then he takes off, and then fucking Warrior Woman comes up to Max. Look, I had you wrong. And Max's bro blows her off. He's like, whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck what any people think of me. But there you can see there is a mutual respect between those two. Right. So the gyro captain's like, all right, the gyro captain's here, and everyone's like, holy shit, like, what does that take? Like, high octane,
Fucking the teen girl in the town, she's going wild. It's like
She's never seen a gyrocopter in her life.
It was like the rocket.
She's checking out the fucking pornography plastered all over
yeah.
it.
The Rock and Roll Express basically just rolled into town. He's got bandanas hanging off his feet for some reason. So she's going fucking crazy, and he realizes he's got one hooked. So he's
and then old Grandpa's like, "He's got room for two, mate." Possibly. Gives this nice, most rotten smile to this poor innocent girl.
This guy did so good.
And then,
I really appreciate
she gives him a little like nice guy smile, like you're a good friend,
right?
Know? And then fucking Feral Child's like, I gotta check this shit out. This might be my next fucking ride. And he's like touching everything. Don't touch its hard performance machine. Don't touch that. And then fucking Feral's like, motherfucker, he's saying this with his eyes. He can't speak, obviously. I'm the fucking Feral Child. You don't talk to me. He just growls that at fucking gyro captain.
So we're tending to the wounded. We're also tending to the wounded truck and everything. We're learning because the mechanic, another fucking amazing tiny little touch here by George Miller. Mechanic doesn't speak over a peep. He talks like this.
Right.
All right, there's crushed damage on the radiator. And he has an assistant who yells across the camp.
Almost thought was played by Australian superstar Jacko, but it was not Jacko.
Not Jacko, okay.
And and he's like he's Papagalio's like, well, how's the fucking rig? Can we use this? And he's like, well, go to crack carburetor. Go to crack carburetor. Yeah. It's ball bearings are balling, and he's just throwing out some shit. And he's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, what does that mean? He's like, 24 hours.
About 24 hours.
He's like 24 hours? You got 12.
He says we got 12.
Okay.
All right, we can do
okay. Crooked tooth looking motherfucker.
And then we go and look at Max, because as he's walking through town, he's a fucking folk hero now.
Right. Everybody's like,
him.
You're gonna drive that rig and we're gonna get out of here. And Max is like, whoa.
No.
You got my fucking favorite character, that fucking old bitch.
Yep.
She pulls out, she's got like a bandana. What color was it? I don't remember.
White.
Full of it's got like about 4 or 5 shotgun shells. I'm saving these. And she just hands it to him, and he's just like, he hands it back. He's like, I'm out of here. I don't know what the fuck. I did my job. And they're like, and then, I fucking hate this fucking bitch. He's like, thank you, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Did she ad-lib that shit? Because it's like, man, she does such a good job as a Karen. Thanks for saving us. I was trying to give you a gift, and you did not accept it. But Max wants no strings attached. He's
got what he needs.
I came. Here was the deal. I get the gas. I get to go. That's it. So he doesn't want any other fucking accolades or attachments. It's like, I got to get this shit. I got to go. Yeah. I'm surprised this is a testament to how serious Max is about his deals.
Right.
He made one deal. He took the benefits of that one deal, or the rewards.
Well, even as burnt out, fucked up as he still has a sense of honor and integrity.
Yeah, so we did, because obviously we know from this movie, shotgun shells are incredibly rare. So he's like, I can't just take these as a gift.
Right.
So,
well, I don't even. That's like, I don't want to owe anybody anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying a second ago. But you could, it's just like, no, I want nothing. I don't want to owe anybody anything. I want to get my gas that I earned, and I want to get the fuck out of here. This is a libertarian's wet dream right here.
Night comes. Humongous is fucking pissed off, and he's ready to flex because he's like, all the like prisoners that Humongous has, they're torturing them out there. They're fucking setting them on fire. They got a bear claw that they're cutting them like, and fucking Humongous is just like fucking flexing, posing, doing the fucking...
It's so good. And under the firelight. This is a John DeHart scene if I've ever seen one. Flickering fire.
Apparently, because you can't really hear it, he's saying a poem in German, which calls back, I guess, to his German roots with that fucking Nazi fucking paraphernalia.
Oh, no, that calls back to that movie you briefly mentioned, .com for Murder, because that's what that guy does.
So maybe it's the same character. Maybe. And then he's like, nobody leaves here alive. And he's like, we see how like a montage of torture. Max is just chilling, eating his dog food, like as his car's getting gassed up. And then I think Papagalia comes up. And he's like, hey, want to make another deal?
Yeah.
You want to come with us? We're going to paradise, man. 2 tickets to paradise. Pack your bags. Let's leave tonight.
Papagallo came with like a hype man, so he's like, yeah, we're going to paradise. Look at this. And unfurls like a sleeve of
like postcards,
souvenir postcards. It's like
the Gold Coast or wherever the fuck.
I recognize one of them straight out of fucking RoboCop. I don't know how they got it. It wasn't out yet.
And Mike's like, nope, I'm good. Don't need it. And they're like, it's like, deal's done. It's like, we can make a new deal. No, I don't need it. I got everything I need right here.
And this is where Papa turns on Max.
Because he's a guilt trip on me.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, fuck these people. I don't know who's worse. Like, at least there's like, the Marauders are honest about what pieces of shit they are.
Yeah.
These people are like passive aggressive, like manipulative.
Papagallo just reminds me of every fucking marketer ever because he's pushing himself as the Elon Musk.
He's a CEO, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a CEO. This makes perfect sense in the novelization. They did such a fucking good job because Papagallo is playing the role of Bill Gates. No, not him. Steve Jobs. He's playing the role of Elon Musk. These people were smart, granted. They weren't fucking behind the scenes engineering what
they're idea people, but they don't know how to do the nuts and bolts.
They're idea people and they're marketers, and that's all they are. They know how to sell people on things. So Papagallo, he's like, oh, well, anybody could drive that truck. Well, then you drive the truck. He's like, well, I can't drive the truck.
Well, we forgot to point out, during the thing where Wes was in the camp, Papagallo gets hit in the hip with an arrow. So
that's why he can't drive the truck.
Well, yeah, of course,
I
can't use my leg.
I got an injured hip. So it's so fucking annoying, but yeah, Papagallo is the hype man. He is just the sizzle. He's no steak, whereas Max is all steak.
And then Max totally sees through him, and then he gets all angry about it.
Papa.
Yeah, and he's just like, what's wrong? What's the matter? You lose somebody you love?
Yeah.
You kill too many men?
Like you said, he somehow knows Max's name at this point, and it's like, Max, what's wrong with you? You some kind of maggot? You belong out there with the filth? You're not like us. You're out there with them.
Well, no, he gets in Max's face, like he's like, you can tell how full of shit Papagallo is, because when his like charm isn't working, he immediately turns into a fucking dick.
Sounds like some billionaires we know today.
Yes. And he's like, yeah, what is it? Yeah, everyone's lost somebody. Who gives a shit what you lost?
Who gives a fuck?
And he gets all in Max's face, so Max just get the fuck off, and he pushes him down, and then he's like, you know what? We got, the difference between us and people out there is we got integrity. We're still human beings. You're filth. You're like the trash out there. And Max is like, whatever the fuck. I'm out of here.
Max does, this is the one thing. I thought I saw a little bit of pain in Max's eyes, but I was just like, whatever. Just fucking move on from here.
That's going on.
He rigs the bomb back up, and he's getting his car ready to go.
Our buddy Gyro put the moves on the sweet young girl. He's ready to take off with her on his gyrocopter. She's like, she got sweet talked by him. This is probably, she's a young girl. She's naive. She believes
desperate times call for desperate measures. This guy can fly.
And then she's like, you know what? I can't leave these people. This is my family. Come on, girl. We can make our own family. And she's like, no, I can't. I have to go. And he's just like, all right. But he rolls. I don't know about Gyro Captain. He rolls with it.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't get he doesn't throw a hissy fit like Papagallo did.
No, even though he probably hasn't gotten laid in ever.
Right.
He just rolls with it.
Right.
So
incels, take notes from fucking Gyro Captain.
This is like our calm scene. This is kind of like the relaxed scene where it's like, obviously there's not immediate stress, so everybody is kind of reeling in. Max starts preparing his car. He's arming the bomb again. He hears the plop in his car. Feral Boy wants to go with him.
Yeah, well, yeah. Then he hears dun 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 dun, and then he opens the door. The little seat he has for the dog.
Yes.
Fucking.
Again, the amount of detail they had to squeeze in the few things they could afford is amazing. Because he opens that door and it's like Batman's utility belt. I was like,
because
what?
the interior is like gutted inside the car now. It's got room for the fucking giant gas tanks on the back and whatever he fucking needs.
One of my favorite scenes in Fury Road was when Nux was driving. He's planning to explode his car. You get to see the interior of his car. It's so bare bones and everything. He's just got valves all over because they had 9 different nitrous systems, and he's unreleasing them all to fill his car up with flammable ingredients and everything. And yeah.
So I read it as all the shit Papagallo said conjured up all the fucking shit that he's been feeling about his family, what he's lost. So he cannot handle, like, I think part of him wants to take the kid with him, but he's like, I can't be close to anyone. I can't lose anyone ever again.
Yeah.
So I have to shut myself off. So he just grabs the little fur satchel that, like, everything's made out of fur.
Yeah.
With Fairchild, and he just throws it, and Fairchild's like, he just goes to get it. He's like, oh, is this a new game we're playing? And then he's like, get the fuck out of here, kid. And he's like, what? And
the tail on the satchel matched the tail that Wes wore.
He might be onto something.
Just saying.
And he just fucking, he goes, okay, I guess, you're not taking me.
So Max is, of course, going to be driving out of town. Papa, he's recognizing, he's telling everybody, because they're like, why didn't you make him stay?
We can at least take all his shit.
Yeah.
And then the first time Papagallo shows some integrity, he's like, no, he's a man of his word.
Yeah.
Give him what he earned it.
Yep.
Let him go.
I'll drive the truck myself. No big deal.
Gyro's like, come on, man. He was just ready to leave himself 5 minutes ago. And he's like, we can work together, man. You and me together, we can take on the world. And he's like, nice knowing you. See you later. Maybe. And fucking Max just takes off. And as he's going out, our fucking boy Wes, full on war paint now. He's ready to fucking kill. He's just listening to some Adamant. He's listening to Goody Two Shoes.
It might have been. I just like that he was doing the 9 powers of the ninja. He was just there focusing with all of his makeup, with just the fire flickering in his face. I don't know if this was sunrise or sunset though.
Well, here's the issue.
Please help
me. There was a little thing on IMDb about Joe Dante, who was a director. He did Gremlins, among many other movies. He's the first thing he did when he met George Miller is like, I know you had a low budget, because when you got a low budget, you don't have time to wait for fucking sunsets. So you just fucking shoot.
Yeah. So
yes, there is some. There's a few scenes. Obviously, it seems they're a filter for like day for night.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Max, like, and then the one thing I pointed on Mad Max I don't like, but they had to do it. They sped up the footage because you can't be driving a fucking Ford Falcon across all terrain, like off road.
Yeah, at 80 miles an hour and all that shit.
So he's just gonna barrel fucking through the fucking the compound of the Marauders. Wes is like running after him. As Wes takes off, fucking Humongous is pissed. He's like, "You disobey me, you puppy." Fucking see that? He called him you puppy.
Right. Well, they're his dogs of war.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
because they're not, because Wes is the fuck. Wes, as good as Wes is, we said he's erratic. He's emotional.
Yeah.
And fucking Humongous is a Vulcan, basically. He's all fucking logic.
Yeah. I want to say that that inspired Les Claypool to write the song "Too Many Puppies" too. Because it's about fucking Wes emotional kids getting killed in war.
It also inspired Jerry Lawler to say puppies.
Puppies!
So Wes is chasing after. He's got Toady and a goon. They're chasing after Max. He's got the fucking blower going. He's ready to go. So Wes has to kick on the nitrous, and that's how he catches up with Max finally. He just grabs the fucking tailpipe off the car, smashes the windshield.
He gets it off at one of his own cars because he's still standing, and then he smashes the windshield. Max goes flying. Oh, excuse me, right in the mic. He goes flying off.
Goes down a cliff like a ravine. Crash. The car rolls. Fucked up. He's totally fucked up. He crawls out. The dog's fine. Just gets out.
Yeah, just walks out. And so Wes up on the roadside because he fell down a whole cliffside. So Wes sends his boys down there. He's not gonna go down there.
Well, they want to get the gas, man. And he's like, if he's alive, bring him to me.
Wes's immediate concern, of course, is gas. Consistency in this fucking movie. Scene 1, get the gas. Scene 25, get the gas.
Right.
Wes wants to kill this man, but he's like, no, get me the gas first.
Right.
So, yeah, you got the fucking Toady going down there, and then you got some random goon.
Yeah, like a dirty cop. And so he's like, Lord Wes, the tanks are full of juice. We will celebrate tonight. And he's got the
He did a full aim on there. It's just theatrical as fuck.
And while that's going on, the goon with the crossbow notices some noise behind a boulder.
Yeah.
And it's Max, and Max is just desperate. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's trying to aim the gun at.
The Interceptor does not have a roll cage, and he just rolled 94 times,
Right.
so he is very discombobulated right now.
The dog's picking up the slack, and he's going to protect his master. So he gets up on the top of the rock. He's ready to fucking take on this cop.
And then 5 to 25 seconds jump ahead, and nothing happens, and here we are. Max is now being bared down by the crossbow. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that.
So Toady, he opens the canister, which sets off the fucking fuse of the bomb.
There is a moment where Toady realizes, something's not right here.
Great use of tension by Miller, because we see the guy slowly put the arrow into the crossbow.
Max, we see his face. He's clearly helpless.
His eyes swollen shut, blood everywhere.
Oh, it's so good.
And just as the guy fucking unfortunately shoots the dog.
He said it.
We just hear a little whoop.
I wanted to avoid it. He said
and then, we got to give it to him. We got to rip the Band-Aid off it.
They know it.
And then he's setting up to kill Max, and just as he's about to fucking shoot him, boom, the whole fucking thing. Toady finally realizes, what's that? What's that noise? And then the fucking car explodes.
Yeah.
Blows the fucking... Fortunately, Max is behind the boulder, so he's protected.
Yeah. Wes just assumes the whole thing's fucking over. So he's like, all right, let's go. It's all good. All good.
There's no way you would survive that.
That's right.
He's like, fuck it.
Yep, I've had my revenge. Let's take off.
So the next morning, we see smoke billowing up. The gyro captain notices. He's like, oh, fuck. That guy needs me. What the fuck? What would he do without me?
Flies out. Max just crawling across the desert. Gets picked up because he, like, turns over and sees it. And he's helpless. He can't do fucking anything.
Cool shot, which they said, like, nowadays he'd never do with a star.
bet.
We literally have, he's in a real helicopter. He's not in the gyrocopter.
Yeah.
But we see Mel
Leaning out.
Gibson literally hanging off the
Yeah,
edge.
that's fucking cool. It was a really fucking good shot.
Right. And we see, like, the fucking Marauders looking up, pointing at the gyrocopter, and then we see them going over the compound.
because they're right outside the compound. So, it's so good. Relativity.
So then Max wakes up. He's bandaged now. He's still fucked up. He sees the fucking Christopher Cross dead. His head's caved in by Wes.
Yeah.
Fucking Feral Child's like, I got you, boy. Here's your fucking leathers. He fucking pulls them. I fucking shined them up for you. You're going to look good. Helps Max dress. We hear Papagayo talking about, like, look, we're just going to punch right through those motherfuckers. And you guys, when I punch through with the semi, take off and scatter in all directions. We'll meet up at this fucking bridge, 20 miles down. And so
This is where we get the triumphant return of Max to his feet.
Well, I don't know if he's triumphant. He's fucked up. He's
It's not like fucking, obviously he's fucked up, but he's not going to let a little arrow to the hip stop him. He's got fucking he is in pure rage mode at this point. He is Max from the end of Mad Max. It's just like, no, pure adrenaline. I'm getting fucking through this thing.
I don't see that at all. I see it totally differently.
Okay.
I see it. Max is like, I'm gonna drive that rig. And Papagayo's like, no, there's no deals. Deals are done. Time for deals are done. And he's just like, I think Max is ready to die because he has nothing now. Literally nothing. What does he have? His dog's gone. His car is gone. All he has is literally the clothes on his back.
Okay.
So he's like, fuck it. I think it's a mixture of I'm going to help these people, but I think it's more like I just want to die. Like, I have nothing to live for anymore.
He's doing his witness moment.
And so I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory.
Okay.
And and then I love Papagayo's like, all right, yeah, you can do it. He needed to bend his arm.
Oh right, yeah, of course, because Papagayo realized I'm not gonna do any of this shit.
Right,
so.
because I'm a bitch, and like he's like, this is the only guy besides the Feral Child can't reach the pedals. If he could, I'd have him do it.
Right.
But this is the only guy with balls in this entire compound. So he's like, all right, you can do it. Fucking Karen is like, I guess you want my bullets now. Just like, fuck off, Karen.
Right. He takes them, but he tells her to fuck off.
Right. And then, all right, now the finale, the greatest car chase ever filmed on film, I guess you'd say.
We got both sides doing their load up scene, straight out of Commando. He arrives at the dock, the shore, and he's fucking putting in all the gear. We got fucking Max counting his shells, putting 2 in 1. 2, teaching Feral how to count to 2. That's the only number you want to count to.
Right.
1 and 2.
We see Humongous putting all the rest of his bullets into his revolver.
That's right. All of them.
Right.
We know that even in dire situations, he's like, no, you can serve 1. That's all I need to stop that truck.
Right.
So all of them. That's a big, again.
Well, see, that's another thing. I'm sure Jack would have pointed this out. We act like you could put any bullet into a gun. That's how even more precious bullets are. You have to have a gun that corresponds to your bullets.
Right.
So
they did a good job of that in Fury Road. There is actually a moment in Fury Road where Furiosa says to them, match every bullet to the gun it works on. And they read out, oh, we have 3 bullets here, 3 bullets here. And they say, we have 3 bullets here, it's useless. That is not a line that belongs in the Mad Max world. 3 bullets to Max is like, I could stop an army.
Right. And so Humongous also has his dog of war Wes on its leash now because he can't trust this fucking guy.
Right. It looks like the opening driving scenes with Max at the front of the car. Wes is literally chained at the front of the car.
Right.
So this is clearly like an image that's just like in George Miller's head.
So Max just barrels right through the fucking thing. Humongous gets a few shots off with his gun. Doesn't really do much damage because they have like a fucking plate in front of the
what do they call it? I put it in there. Cow catcher is what they call that. It's that giant fucking like what they have at the front of trains, but it's even taller and more.
So Max heads out on the road. He's taking off. All the bad guys follow him, which gives a place for the rest of the good guys to escape. They come out afterwards.
It's just like the scene that Max saw them do, where the decoy didn't work and the people got chased down and murdered and all that horror scene. This time it actually fucking works.
Right, because this is the final battle.
Yeah.
I mean, and so a couple goons notice it, so they go, hey, they left. It's our fucking compound now. So they go back to the compound.
Yeah, they go back. Yeah, good call.
And then we see that they set up a trap. They're like, I don't know. It's like, Papagalia, why not just let them have the gas? Maybe they would leave you fucking alone because they'd be too busy with the gas. No, he's got to blow. That's all my gas. So they blow up the compound.
Right. I mean, it's about eliminating the threat because if they move on, they move to the next site they go to, so they're still a threat.
You're right, yeah, because
So
they would chase after
Yeah,
these guys.
so he's
you're
trying
right.
to dwindle the numbers.
Okay.
I feel like the motivation definitely makes sense. And so we see that on the truck, they appear to have everybody.
They have they have a woman, a handicapped guy, and some dork. Like that's the best they have left.
And the audience will quietly learn that Farrell is on the truck as well.
Yeah, because he's supposed to go on the bus with the women's, and he's like, "Fuck this shit, I'm in. I'm all in." So he just leaps on the fucking truck, and they take off.
We do have to mention that Papa is driving a car of his own alongside of them.
Right.
No one seems to give a fuck about him. Again, they think that Max is driving a tanker full of gasoline.
Right. And so we're driving, and this is where it begins. Immediately, like, fucking Humongous he just snaps the chain that he's got Wes on, sets him loose.
Yeah.
And Wes is like, fuck yeah. He's like hopping from fucking car to car.
Again, it's so cool, the practical effects. And yes, Miller gets all of his credits because it's like, even in Fury Road, you see this kind of action happening. And that's beautiful to see. Because it's just like, this has been passed down throughout the world of Mad Max.
This is like no CGI at all.
Yes.
And I'm sure if they had it at the time, they would have used it.
Yeah.
But this is like crazy-ass stuntman doing crazy-ass stunts.
And this is why we love our fucking stuntmen. And we try to give them every applaud they deserve.
And we get the scene, everybody remembers it, where a motorcycle, like Max knocks one of the cars over, motorcycle hits it, the fucking stuntman, he was supposed to just fly, but his foot catches the car, so he fucking spins.
No.
But what happened? The guy, as soon as he landed, he's like, did you get that shit? Because he broke his leg doing that. And he's like, did you get the shot? And they're like, yeah, sorry. Like, no, that better be in the fucking movie because that was fucking badass.
Yeah. I'm so glad that guy lived, though. Yeah. Like, fuck.
He was in Fury Road. He was like a young stuntman there, and now he's like a stunt coordinator for Fury Road.
That's so George Miller is so fucking cool about that shit.
So yeah, we got fucking people like throwing grappling hooks. They're just trying to stop this fucking truck.
Again, we're going back. We're using just like fucking I can't think of the right word for it, but just early technology, weapons and everything, right. Just whatever you could whip up real quick.
They're shooting darts into the fucking tires.
That's as far as advanced technology as they have, is like those dart guns.
So the guy, his name was Zeta, the character, who had the kind of like Iron Sheik type like headgear on. He was Papagayo's like right hand man.
Yeah,
he's the guy in the back. So one of the goons throws a grappling hook and it hooks onto his fucking leg. Imagine how fucking, because then the fucking car starts getting dragged and all the fucking pressure's on this guy's leg.
Yes,
and so much pressure just rips the back of the fucking truck off. And
so fucking. It's brutal. It's so, like, it hits you right in that part of your brain where CGI never manages to do.
Because remember, the good guys don't have guns either, so they have Molotov cocktails and crossbows.
They have the warriors up with fucking literal bows, not even crossbows, not automated little, half machines. So the fucking... And Max with the shotgun shells.
The stupid mechanics, like, I fixed this rig up, I should be allowed to go. Like, it's like, he first thing he does, He fucking goes to throw a Molotov, gets shot with an arrow, drops the Molotov cocktail. Unfortunately, his legs, which you can't feel.
Yeah.
So he's like, and then the warrior woman's like, oh my fucking God, do I got to do everything for this guy? And he's like, no, it's okay. His hands are on feet. He's like trying to pat himself out. His hands are on fire.
And this is even more beautiful because the moment she takes to show some sympathy for this guy, like, you fucking idiot, we shouldn't have bought you with. That's sympathy for me. The moment she takes to, like, realize, like, oh my God, you really just fucked yourself here. She looks over to her left. There's Wes bearing down on her because he's been jumping car to car to car. He's bearing down on her with one of those fucking 4-line dart guns, shoots her dead.
Right. And she falls, but there's barbed wire along the edges to keep the goons out. So she catches on the barbed wire. She's hanging literally on the side of the truck. The fucking handicap guy, the mechanic's like, I got to grab her. I can't let her. I'm like, dude, I mean, I understand. This person, who knows what your relationship was, but you're in the middle of like some heavy shit. Leave her be.
Yeah.
Max you're the only guy left.
Right.
But no, he tries to grab her, and then I think it was one of the goons. They just grab her and they pull her down with him.
Yeah, I don't think it was Wes, but yeah, they just go up, they grab her, and then he's reaching down, so they grab him and just pull him down. Right. And as Max says in Fury Road, under the tires.
So all's left is fucking Max and Feral Child. And he doesn't even know at the time the Feral Child's even there.
Yeah, and this is one of the most beautiful action scenes I've ever fucking seen. You get Mel Gibson open the cab door, step out with his fucking shotgun, and
he doesn't even open the cab door because Wes ripped the door off with a grappling hook.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, he steps out the door. Where the door would be. Sorry.
Right.
He steps out there and he fucking takes aim on the one car that was giving him the immediate threat and fucking shoots the guy in the head. That's the first shot. That is not. Is that true? Is that the first shot you actually see Max take in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
One shot.
80 minutes into the movie.
So fucking good. The pop.
So good. Feral does. He's like ecstatic.
Well,
he had his first orgasm. And then Papagayo like drives up. He's like, "Boy, we won!" Because everyone had gotten away. And he's like, "Come on, jump!" And he's like, "Fuck this! I'm with my boy Max. I'm not fucking jumping."
Yeah.
And then Humongous makes the most perfect rainbow jumper shot. I don't know the physics how this works.
Yeah.
Throws like a pitchfork he has on the side of his car. Hit. How does this happen?
Dude perfect moment here.
Like somehow,
I know you don't know Dude Perfect, but Dude Perfect moment here.
Somehow Papagayo like leans forward because it would hit this fucking car. But no, perfect arch, hits Papagayo in the back. Car just drives off into the fucking wasteland. He's gone. All right. Now the fucking the cab is being swarmed by goons. We got a guy with a fucking tiger claw or whatever.
Yeah.
Busts through the back window, because at this point, Max he heard fucking Feral orgasm, so he grabs him, puts him in the cab with him.
Yes.
Bear claw guy rips through the back window, grabs Max by the shoulder. It's like fucking clawing his shoulder. Max like drops the bullets. They go flying everywhere because he got grabbed. Wes is like, well, first there's like a cop that's on top, and he shoots a dart through the top of the car.
Right through Max's leg.
Right. No sells it.
He looks down and then just kind of like, all right.
Shoots up, hits that guy, kills him, shoots to the side because there's a guy trying to get in the passenger door, kills him. Then there's a scene, I think it already happened, but you pointed it out earlier, where the guy, like, he's going to shoot the tire.
Yeah, he shoots the tire, blows it out, but he has no other crossbow bolts. So he reaches in for the crossbow bolt.
And gets caught. His hand gets caught, and he goes right underneath the
fucking amazing. And then we also have to add in that Gyro is above that.
He's dropping like Molotovs everywhere.
Right.
He drops one on Humongous, so Humongous is out of the fucking game for now. He has to stop his car and put himself out.
So, Murray, you just mentioned, though, that, of course, he helped Feral into the car. He had the guy clawing into his back. He had the guy shoot him from the roof above. One shot for the roof above. One shot to the guy in the passenger seat. So we still got the guy behind him with a claw ripped into his fucking shoulder.
Right. And not only did they have that, Wes got on the top of the fucking roof of the car, and he's got like a flail. It's like some kind of like car parts, and he's like on chain, and he's like swinging it.
And Max has no ammo.
Well, yeah, it's scattered everywhere in the floor of the car.
Yeah.
And he's like telling like Feral Kid's like pulling out the fucking old shells, and he's just like, get the shells. Because
first time he talked to, actually said words to the Feral Kid, get the fucking shell. It goes from 0 to my life depends on you to get these shells.
Meanwhile, Wes is just flipping out. He's just swinging that flail back, like flies into the cab and catches on the fucking roof, almost hits Max in the face.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And then, like, so the windshield's been busted out by Wes. A couple of the shells are on the fucking hood of the car. And then, Max is like, I gotta do something about this. I don't have any bullets. I gotta do something about Wes. So he just slams on the brakes. Wes goes flying. He's dead, right? He fucking fell in front of the car. He got
exactly.
run over.
He fell in front of a car doing 75 miles an hour. Sorry, I know it's in kilometers because it's over there in Australia.
Right.
They drive on the wrong side of the road. But yeah, so it's just like, okay, well, we just dealt with one of the biggest threats of this movie. He just got to get the guy off his back. Right. Pharaoh, by the way, is back there gouging at the guy's fucking eyes. Right. So it's it's an intense scene. And then finally we get Humongous because he's pulling up. And
Humongous put himself out because he had the Molotov laying on him. Somebody had shot some darts into the gyrocopter, so that's crashed.
Yes.
So he's out of the game. All that's left is Max and Humongous. Max is like, doesn't know what to do at this point. So he just does a U-turn. He's like, I'm going to go back to the compound. Like, I can't escape these guys.
You're right. Yeah, Max does the U-turn.
So he does the U-turn. Meanwhile, Humongous is like a mile back down the road. He's all set now. He's like burned and shit from the Molotov. He's wearing like a barbarian like fur. He rips that off.
Yeah.
And he's like, he cranks up the nitrous.
Of course.
Taps it. So he's like, his virtually no control now because he just wants to catch up.
And we still have like a defined road here. And that's what they're driving on.
Right. And then, so he's like, fucking tell Fairchild, get those fucking shells on the hood. So Fairchild's crawling out there.
He's actually looking nervous. Like Fairchild, we thought was the greatest badass of all time, but this is the first time he's met with like a challenge. He was like, I kind of fear for myself.
Right. He's probably never fucking been in a car.
Right. Yeah, good point. And so he's...
One thing, I don't know why he allowed Fairchild to take the gun out on the hood with him. I would have kept that, but Fairchild has the gun with him.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that.
And he's reaching for it, and then nice fucking play by George Miller. Sound cuts out. All you hear is like wind blowing.
Heartbeat and wind blowing.
Right.
You hear, I guess it's supposed to be Max's heartbeat? Whose heartbeat is it?
It's Fairchild's.
Because it's not beating fast enough.
But as soon as he goes to grab for that shell, Wes pops up. And yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Thank you.
No, he's screaming like a banshee. And that finally breaks fucking Fairchild. He starts screaming. And then we see Max. He can see fucking Humongous barreling down on him. Max grabs Fairchild. Wes is like, looks in the eyes of Max, knows something's going on behind him.
Thank you. These guys, when you're in this dystopian future, somehow reading eyes becomes a fucking inherent, like you need to know how to do that.
Right.
Because Wes looks right into Max's eyes and he just starts doing, it's like Stone Cold's music hit behind him and he starts doing the slow turn and he sees Humongous is bearing down on him.
And boom, Humongous just fucking splatters himself right across the front of the rig. Wes is fucking destroyed. Loses control of the fucking semi finally. It goes off the road. We get a nice shot of Mel Gibson and a puppet that's supposed to look like the feral child. He's just shaking a puppet.
Oh, good.
They crash. And this is why this movie is the greatest action movie of all time. This fucking ending. Because we're like, oh shit, it's going to explode. It's full of gas, right? Wrong. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm acting like you guys haven't seen this movie before, but I'm going to explain why it's so fucking great. Because it crashes. The goons that are left stop. They're like, where's the explosion? They're like, fucking, Max stumbles out. He's fucking got feral child under his arm like a fucking bag of shit. And he sees that the sand is coming out. And even like Max can't help but like smile about it. He's like, they got me, man. They fucking used me. Like I actually made the ultimate sacrifice. I was gonna die for these people,
Right.
And they fucked me over.
Right.
I mean, obviously that was always the plan because Papagalia was. It wasn't like they switched out the gas for sand, but they didn't tell Max the plan.
That's why. Apparently, that's why Papagalia was so quick to be like, "Oh, you want to do it? Sure."
Right.
But he did go alongside of him, so we got to give Papagalia a little bit of credit,
right? Because
he did die for this cause too.
Well, he died because he wanted to save Feral Child, so he cared about Feral Child. Didn't care about Max.
It's something. It's something to redeem Papagalia a little bit.
Gyrocrapton rolls up.
Gyrocrapton.
The fucking rotors are all bent and shit. It's fucked to hell, but he can still drive along the road with it.
Yeah.
And he just stops and he just gives him an eyebrow raise, and Max can't help but fucking smile. He's like, fuck, I can't believe this shit. I thought I tapped into my humanity again. I thought I could trust people again. This is why this and this is Byron Kennedy, the producer of this movie, fought for this ending, because you can tell because he died right after this movie, and then we always got happy endings for Mad Max movies afterwards. Because that's George Miller's instinct. He wants to leave the crowd happy, and Byron Kennedy's like, no, we need to give this, because this is a bleak fucking world, man.
Yes. This is why, like, I was talking to my neighbor earlier. I told you about this, obviously off mic and everything. It's like, I see Fury Road as like another take at Beyond the Thunderdome, because it's George Miller gets to do his happy ending in a better place, because George Miller was not in a good place when he wrote and did Thunderdome.
Right. He just directed the action. He didn't even direct the movie.
Yeah. And so this was him getting to do his happy ending that he always wanted to do. And Fury Road definitely ends on a quote-unquote happy ending. Whereas the first two movies, bleak as fuck. You know, don't tell me that Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith is the best. Or wait, what is it called?
Oh.
Whatever. Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
That's the best movie, because Mad Max did it in two movies. They said, yeah, the world fucking sucks and it got worse, and Max got revenge, but what did he lose? Everything. And then the second movie comes out, Max finally thinks he might have, wait, no, he doesn't even finally think he has anything, and it still ends bleak somehow. He was willing to die for
it's a happy ending and a bleak ending, because the people do survive.
Yeah.
But it's a bleak ending for Max.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is the way I interpret it. He was on a suicide mission, but at the same time, he's like, I want to make at least my sacrifice will save other people.
Yeah.
And then and then he gets tricked.
Yeah, he got duped. So it's like, wait, did I do an altruistic thing, or am I just another pawn? Am I pawn?
That's the thing.
Again?
That was the beauty of like 70s films for the most part. The balls to have bleak endings. Everybody wants a happy fucking Marvel superhero ending now, where the good guy always wins.
Yeah.
And and that's fine. You can have that every once in a while. I don't want to have all bleak endings.
The only way the bleak endings work is if you have happy endings. It's like, you gotta...
to me, that's why I think in horror movies the bad guy should win, because it's horror.
Yeah.
Like fucking like the end of Evil Dead, where Ash thinks he's beat the demon, and then he gets hit with a demon right at the end. Like,
fucking good.
That's horror.
Yeah.
And so I fucking love this goddamn ending, man.
Yeah, we're always being chased.
This is a ballsy fucking ending. And then we get the little wrap up. Yes, we learned that the gasoline was really on the buses that they left in, and we learned the feral child was an error. Another thing that fucking infuriates me, I'm going to say right here, I have a few problems, but Fury Road isn't the issue. It's the Fury Road stands that I don't like.
Oh, yeah, no.
You guys get on my nerves. When I saw Fury Road, I didn't hate it. I was a little disappointed that Max was a background character, but I did not hate the movie. I don't hate the movie still.
Okay.
But I'm growing to hate it because you fucking fans.
Yeah.
Because here's another thing, because it's the nerdiness of it, where it's like they have to have connections.
Yeah.
So there's people like trying to rationalize, here's what it is. Tom Hardy That's the feral child.
No.
Grown up. Yes, that's a fan theory.
No, fuck
That's
you.
why, because they can't rationalize. We can't just have a different actor play Max.
Yeah.
It's got to be. There's got to be some connection. Did you see the ending of fucking Road Warrior? He basically explains, I became the leader of the Great Northern Tribe.
Yeah.
And we see it's the fucking feral child's the narrator. He did not become Max. He didn't take his identity.
Right. Murray led us right into the back, end of this movie. Feral kid becomes the leader of the tribe, learns to speak.
Well, Gyro Captain becomes the first leader, and then he takes over.
Yeah, good call. And so it's like, he learned how to speak. He learned how to do all the fucking things to be a leader and all that bullshit. It's great. Cool. Great fucking story. Again, the main story is still Max. This kid got the opening and the ending. He explained, there was a world war, I guess, and it was over oil, and this is how I ended up in the world I grew up in. And now we're still living in tribes 30 years later.
Well, we have to rebuild humanity.
And we don't know what Max is up to. He fucking disappeared.
Well, what we know is Mad Max the Road Warrior exists only in my memory.
That's right.
He never sees Max again, which is how it would be.
Yeah. Now,
unless the nerds would have it, they're like, no, man, they should meet again. No. All right?
It's so fucking cool. Like, we're both in agreement. It's like, it's okay to retire Max.
Yeah.
Is that not the... Yeah. Max is a fucking amazing character. We love him. It's fine. Like, the world should exist. The world should continue. But it's got to be a bleak fucking world. And that's the story.
They had the balls. Max didn't change. He's still damaged. Like, he doesn't want... He still can't be close to people. He could have gone with them. But he chose instead just to take one of these leftover vehicles from the fucking chase and be like, I'm just gonna go off. I can't be with people.
Yeah,
you can't. It's like you can't fix that PTSD like that, where it's like, oh wow, now I have a place to be. I'll be fine.
That's something that should resonate with everybody today, because everyone's like, you need to go get help. You should go seek therapy. That's a kind thing. You should do that. We're all accepting of this, and yet. Like, anybody who's willing to understand that and take that at face value knows that doesn't mean you're fixed. Max will never be fixed. He has lost so much. He's been duped so many times. The way he treats Gyro is because of the way, everything that's brought him there. We can see Max still, he doesn't want, he cares for dogs. Obviously makes him the greatest person ever. But it's just, it's too much.
The dog never let him down.
It's too much. It's fucking too much. Well, the dog doesn't ask for much either.
Right.
The dog doesn't communicate with
you
them.
know what the dog wants. The dog does. Food, as long as you give him food,
water, and that's about it. Friendship. Food, water, friendship.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. So.
Oh boy.
There you have it.
Don't worry. You'll get Fury Road eventually.
I don't know, Griff. I think I've said all I need to say about action. I think I might just.
Oh, you want to close it up on action? Oh, we're gonna be a drama podcast now?
No, I think I'm done. I think I'm retired from podcasting. I think I'm gonna go off into the wasteland.
Oh, okay.
Because I've said what more can I say? I've explained to you. Now everyone is throwing their Fury Roads in the trash. Don't do that. You can still keep your Fury Road DVDs.
Yeah.
But just understand, put it underneath the Road Warrior DVD.
Yeah, just number 2 at least. Probably 3, but 2 at least.
But no, Griff, there's at least 5 people who can't do without me out there listening who would be like, I got to listen to fucking Griff talk for the...
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
I mean, actually, guys, it would be worse if Griff quit because I'm not going to learn how to do this audio shit. So if Griff leaves, the show definitely is over. Griff could probably go on without me, but the world would be a poorer place without
It really would be.
All right. We're going to do just a simple, stupid movie next week.
We need it.
And we're going to do a character an actor we've never had on the show before, who's new to us. I don't believe either of us have seen a movie by this guy.
Interesting.
Also, we're going to do an old favorite, All Grown Up.
Oh.
We're going to do a movie called Ninja 2, Griff, starring Scott Adkins, who a lot of people love. He's more of a newer. He's in the, I'd say, Gary Daniels era. That would be my thing.
Yeah.
I think he's another.
Gary Daniels.
I'm pretty sure he is a British guy with a wimpy voice.
Oh, good.
But there's also an old favorite of ours who grew into it, quite the man, the fucking heir to the Kazuki throne, Kane Kazuki, is in this movie.
Nice.
And it's a dumb 90-minute movie that
Beautiful.
we can get because we're going to be exhausted. We gave you that fucking tippy tap. That took,
Jesus.
what did it take, 5 hours to do that?
9.5, I thought.
And
Yeah,
we gave
that
you
was my
about 2.5 on this. So we're taking it easy next week. You need to take it easy next week.
I do.
Here's to another 5 years, maybe. Until then, keep it warm.